Short, bald, and angry.
You sometimes find that your dreams get in the way of your dream. Get out of here! Dreams blocking dreams. Dreams preventing my dreams from dreaming. Get out of here, Baldy! He called down a curse on them in the name of the Lord.
God damn it!
Then 2 she-bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the boys.
I'm a shooter, goddammit.
Cross me again, I'll put a bullet through your head!
Not that kind of shooter. I'm a peace-loving shooter. A cameraman. I might appear to be short, bald, and angry on the outside, but I assure you I am tall, happy, and handsome on the inside. I am a walking contradiction. Let's get this thing started. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to episode 17 of the Short, Bald, and Angry podcast. My name is Ian.Studiocinco. My guest this episode is a writer who goes by the name of Mike Grossman. I haven't known him for very long, but he's quickly become one of my very good friends. We talk about how we met on this episode, so I won't repeat it here. I'll leave the details for later. But a quick kind of recap is we were at a signing at our local comic shop, Vinyl Fantasy, a place I drop by at least once a week, and where I've met many of my favorite people in my neighborhood. Shout out to Joe and Alana, owners of Vinyl Fantasy. They promised me they would come on the show. Hopefully next year I'll get them. But yeah, so I met Mike at Vinyl Fantasy, and we somehow got talking and became fast friends. Mike is responsible for getting me invited into the big group show I was in during Bushwick Open Studios this year. And that show led to the mural I did, and I also sold a piece of art for more money than I've ever sold art for before. That was great. I got a taste of what my life could be like if I keep working hard and continue making good work. But that taste never would have happened if Mike hadn't been such a helpful dude. He also recently purchased a print of mine, a print of the same piece that sold at the show, actually. He's a very funny guy. He doesn't let favors go unreciprocated. He insists that I cook him dinner and draw a one-page comic for him as a kind of payback for all the kindness he's offered. If he wasn't such a great guy, I'd tell him to fuck off, but he's really a great guy, and I want to help him, and I want to work with him. So I just keep saying, okay, to everything he puts in front of me. Mike is co-creator of a comic called Goofy Froot. Mike writes it, and his friend, who has also become my friend, an artist by the name of Max Travers, draws it. The first volume, called Ripe Off the Page, is available. You can purchase it. And they are hard at work on Volume 2, as well as a spin-off with a pineapple ninja titled Bromeliad's Keeper. That's right, there is a ninja pineapple in this comic. There's also a chili pepper they call Chill Pepper, and he's always got a joint in his mouth and usually just says, chill. And I highly recommend checking out Goofy Froot. It's really, I think a word they would want people to use in describing it is it's delightful. It's got some humor to it, making fun of sort of office culture, among other things, but it's, for the most part, it's pretty lighthearted and fun, and a nice break from all the serious shit that surrounds us in the news and in our lives. At the end of this episode, we tried something new, at least new for me. I sat Mike down and recorded him giving an audio commentary as he walks us through Goofy Froot. Although, as I said, maybe that's not so new. I guess I've been doing audio commentaries over my art. But as far as like going over a comic goes, that's kind of new, and I think I'll be doing that more often. I hope to be doing that more often with other artists as well as for myself when I finally finish my first comic next year. But yeah, Mike sat down and I recorded him as he went through Goofy Froot, as well as another comic that he made called Battle World. And as he was doing it, I guess he felt inspired because he started delivering an occasional performance. He would put on the voice of a character, and he promised me that when Max comes on the show sometime next year, they'll both do a reading where they will take turns acting out the voices of all the characters, sound effects included. So I'm looking forward to that in the new year. Damn, Jesus, we're getting there. 2019 is less than 2 weeks away as I record this. I mean, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? Time goes by so fast. I'm not going to complain, though. Even though this has been one of the hardest years of my life, I've accomplished so much and met so many great new people, like Mike Grossman and Max Travers. I've also continued to build on the relationships I already have. Most notably, my work with Eugenio Cornelius is reaching new heights. unfortunately, we can't share our new music video with you till next year, but by the time this episode is made public, or at least soon after, Praying Mantis, an album he made with Deuce Ellis, will be out. And I made the album cover, and I'm so fucking hyped about it. It's really fucking awesome looking. It's a praying mantis with two hands pressed together like he's praying. And his hands are covered in blood, and he's got blood all over his face. Because if you don't know anything about praying mantis existence, it's brutal. They're nasty, violent creatures. They catch their prey and eat them face first while they're still alive. Brutal. But yeah, I made that album cover, and I'm super grateful I got to close out the year with one last job that I'm really proud of, and I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I think I did a lot of great work that I'm really proud of this year, and this Praying Mantis piece is no exception. But I'm gonna save my recap and New Year's resolutions for next week when I have more time, because this week is about to be bonkers. As they say, when it rains, it pours, and this week it's coming down hard. I have 5 separate jobs, all overlapping, and my sales tax is due. And earlier today, I recorded the last show of the year with 2 of my collaborators from the past, Girdley and Bratt from Queen Moves. Next week, we'll feature a very special guest, my dear old friend, the Bones of J.R. Jones. He came out and performed a song on the show back in September, so I'm excited to be featuring him next week. And as I said, I will also be recapping the work I did this year. At least the work I'm proud of, or that I'm allowed to talk about. And I may or may not make a New Year's resolution or 2. And I will shout out everyone who has been on the show, released and unreleased episodes, and as well as all my patrons on Patreon. I will shout everybody out in the last episode of the year. And on that note, please donate to my Patreon. This art life I'm living isn't getting any easier. I need your help financially. I need your help in spreading my work around. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Please like and subscribe and follow me and my guests on all platforms. And all those links are in the description of wherever you are getting this podcast. So without further ado, I'm going to shut my mouth and I'm going to bring you my good new friend, Mike Grossman. Put the keys away, silence the phones.
Phone is off.
Phone is off.
Do you not hear the feedback anymore?
No, it's gone.
It's good. So how close should I be to the mic?
As close as possible. So actually,
close as
I forgot to
possible, but I could-
situate that.
Yeah.
Don't yank on it because it's falling apart.
I like the rig. There's a lot going on.
All right. Watch your head on the back of that thing. Watch your head on the top, above your head, to the right of your head, everywhere.
Just like hang on to this.
So yeah, get a little closer.
Okay.
That's good.
This is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to pull in, you can. So yo, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thanks for
Cheers to
this
beers.
is day 2 of hanging out with Mike Grossman.
Yeah, it's been a weekend extravaganza.
We dropped by the Printed Matter art book fair yesterday, and had our minds blown. Or what did you keep saying? It's overwhelming.
There was just so many artists in, I guess a pretty small space doing all kinds of art. So, it is overwhelming. I don't know how anyone who's just like, oh, this is fine. Like, then there's something wrong with them. There's so
Like,
much stuff going on. There's like
anyone who goes in there and just
hundreds of
has no
people's- yeah.
like feedback or
even if
response whatsoever.
or like if they could just handle being around that, I would seriously suspect whether or not they're human. Like, they might be.
I mean, I can handle being around it, but I guess I get a little like discouraged isn't the right word, but I feel a little bit like everything blends together, and it makes me feel like there's no way for me to stand out either, and it feels a little discouraging. But it's also awesome that there's so many creative people. I don't want to be just negative about it, but I tend to be a negative dude, and that like puts a lot of people off sometimes. And you know what? Fuck you, because that's what life does to me sometimes. It makes me feel negative.
So is that what the show is called? That's short, bald, and angry? Because I didn't think you were using that to describe me.
No,
Because
no, I'm
I
definitely
got good hair still.
definitely just describing myself.
Oh, okay.
I haven't really gotten angry on the show yet. And I don't know if I ever will. Bill Burr has his Monday morning rant thing.
Yeah.
I'll never be as funny as him, nor as redheaded as him, or as
that one. Yeah.
or maybe not even as angry. I don't know who's angrier, me or him, but But yeah, anger. I don't like to avoid negativity and anger and like the negative side of reality. I like to view it all as like a whole.
You like the dark side, huh?
I like the dark side, but I like the light side. You know, I like to acknowledge the whole and not like I'm not one of those people who likes to avoid talking about sensitive topics or negative topics. You know what I mean? And I think anger is a good way to get at the root of what's wrong and what needs to change.
Anger is very powerful. I mean, it's a core human emotion. It's not something that's artificially created. Anger is very powerful. So.
Are you sure about that, though? You don't think there's anyone creating artificial anger right now?
Well, there's artificial anger, but there's anger. Like anger is real.
Yeah.
Like anger is a real thing.
Anger is real.
It's one of the core emotions. Anger, sadness, happiness.
Yeah.
Others. Don't quote me on this, but there's others. This mic good?
Yeah, just get closer if you can. If you want to pull in, it might be
It's
better.
like very green in my face. But.
So we met at currently, I don't want to say my favorite comic store because I worked at a comic store in my hometown.
Where'd you work?
Fourth World Comics in Smithtown.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do you actually know it? You don't know it, right?
Where are you from?
Smithtown, Long Island.
Long Island. Okay.
And
that's what I was looking for.
yeah.
Oh, he's Smith.
I'm a Strong Island boy.
Yeah.
And I love that comic store. That comic store is sick. It's super well stocked. Glenn, the owner, has always done a great job of like just having everything there. And but we met at my other favorite comic store, which is Vinyl Fantasy on Knickerbocker Avenue.
Shout out to Alana and Joe.
Yeah. Who promised me they're gonna come on the show actually.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
And we were there during a signing, and we met, and and we pointed out that we both had books on the shelf. And we hit it off. We were talking about what we do.
Yeah. I was really high on edibles.
Yeah, you'd taken an edible, and your conversation was great. It was fantastic. And then,
For a while.
And then all of a sudden you said, "Oh shit, it's kicking in," and then you were kind of gone. Then you were pretty gone after that. But no, I think we talked for like a solid hour before that happened. Then.
Yeah, we were gone for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started getting like too wigged out / hungry to sustain myself. So I had to go eat like a bunch of like chicken parmesan.
Is that where you went? Is that what you got?
Yeah, and it wasn't even good because it was like from the supermarket. And then
you went to City Fresh?
Yeah, I was
shout
just
out
like,
City Fresh.
Yeah, shout out City Fresh. Thank
City
you for
Fresh.
all the groceries this year. It is very convenient.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I fell asleep, so I didn't get to hang out with Ivan Brandon or Cliff Young.
He's the artist who draws Paper Girls.
He does Paper Girls. One of my
yeah, that was
ones,
unbelievable. We were just standing there. He was there. We didn't realize it was him until the end.
Yeah, because he's just friends with those people, Ivan Brandon and Treadmore.
It's a small world, man.
It's definitely a small world.
They all end up, hanging out and supporting each other.
Yeah, so hopefully I could meet him at New York Comic Con, but
yeah,
I figured it'll be better to introduce myself when I was a little more regular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, you're holding a comic book.
So I'm holding your comic book.
Yeah. Oh,
called
Fruit.
Goofy Fruit. Mm-hmm. And is right off the page the title of this collection, or is that just like?
Yeah, that's the title of this volume.
This volume, I mean?
Volume 1, right off the page.
Right off the page.
Yeah, I like giving the volumes little names.
Oh, you'd have to.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, there's only one volume right now, but I have other names. For
it's just a fun thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's also important to distinguish between volumes.
Subtitles.
You don't want to just do volume 1, volume 2. That's easy. It's too easy.
Yeah. It's like Return of the Fruit.
So, yeah, Return of the Fruit. Is that volume 2?
Nope.
Volume 3?
Nope.
Anything?
Just wait and see.
All right.
Jeez.
I can't wait.
Trying to rest this
process. What happens in the next volume? Will you tell us that, or is that?
Yeah, I'll talk about what we're working on for sure. Maybe I should talk about.
Shout out the artist too.
What it is? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Fuck Max Travers.
Yeah, Max Travers.
He's no good.
He's no good. Never have him on the show. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like saying what I'm working on next is maybe like a weird starting point.
Yeah, let's start with what Goofy Fruit is.
Let me tell you about the sequel.
What is?
Forget this.
How does it end? I want to start with the ending.
Start at the ending. Well, all the fruits die. It's like Sausage Party.
Nice.
Yeah, did you see that movie?
No.
Oh, well, I just ruined it for you. Actually, they ruined it for you. But.
Sausage Party?
Yeah, the one.
Everybody dies?
I don't know. You'll have to edit this part out. Anyway, so this is a comic I write it, and my friend Max Travers is the artist, and all the characters, for the most part, are different life-size pieces of fruit. So, they all different names. Like, you got Boss Banana, you have the Gangsta Grapes, you have Poised Pineapple, who's a Kung Fu master, Chill Pepper, who's a Chili Pepper. That's,
My favorite character.
Yeah, a Chili Pepper smoking a joint.
Kind of hard not to love that. That's like obvious.
He's really popular with
easily
little
your
kids.
Most popular character. Oh, that's cool.
I mean, like all the characters have their different like fans. I think I was burping the microphone. We're drinking beer. But like I used to do all these like art markets and have tables, and like the tables are like just the right height to be perfectly eye level with like like a 5 or 6 year old kid.
And they're grabby.
Yeah, and they're grabby, and they'll just run over, and they'll always grab the Chill Pepper. I mean, he's this little pepper. I don't know if you'll have photos, but he has like.
If you let me, I'll totally.
Yeah, take pictures of whatever you want.
Spend time editing this.
Yeah,
you
you could. Yeah, and we have stuff on our Instagram too. Like you could just put any photos you want. But yeah, the pepper, he has just like one eye and like one like tooth sticking out, and he's just smoking a joint, and like the little kids love it. And I don't mean to make it for the young kids like that, but they know what they want.
You have to yell at young kids every now and then, like, "Get your fucking hands off of my shit, kid."
I don't. Say
Are you
that.
nice? Are you nice to kids?
I'm pretty nice to kids. It's usually.
Do you let them grab your shit though?
Yeah, I honestly don't care. I mean.
But what if?
Like,
but if it gets fucked up, then it's like nobody wants to buy a fucked up comic, right?
Well, then I'll keep
Comic
it.
fans are all anal retentive people,
I'll
aren't
keep
they?
it and give it to a B-list friend. You know, it is what it is.
Is that actually what you do?
I don't know. Well,
I have a box of damaged books over here.
I mean,
and it hurts every time a copy gets damaged. It hurts me a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm actually trying to make some money.
I just kind of I'm at peace with all that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I put up stickers like on the streets and other places, and like they'll get ripped down by, whatever. And that's just part of. Yeah, or covered up, or someone else wants their sticker there more, which I could understand. It's just like the
Price of
nature.
doing business.
It's the nature of the game. Like all this, everything that we create is all going to eventually be destroyed. And eventually, we're going the negative side now. Eventually, we're going to die. There'll be no memory of us.
No, I'm living forever. So is my puppy.
Yeah, you're going to be like robot hybrids.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever.
Maybe there's some other thing, like some bioengineering going on too.
I feel like you could either, where it's going, it's like you either could be like half human, half machine, or you could be like the human consciousness within a machine reality.
That seems to be where things are going.
That
right?
seems maybe more fun in a sense.
Like
That's like
upload
that
your
Black Mirror
consciousness
episode, right?
Which one? I don't remember.
Well, San Junipero was one where it's like with your.
That's the only happy one, right?
I don't think any of them are happy.
Well, there's the one happy one where there's the two lesbians who.
Spoiler alert.
Who go into
and lesbian alert.
It's and lesbian alert. Yeah. They go into like the virtual reality thing and
yeah.
That's actually a happy episode. The only happy episode.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's kind of like. Yeah, that one is more happy. You could.
It has sad, but it ends on a happy note, is what I'm saying. Whereas the others are all just bleak and horrible.
Yeah, it's less bleak because there's a personal victory, but like then they kind of and spoilers, but like they pan out and they just show like all the servers that like contain your reality. So it's like
Did they show that?
Yeah, that's like the last image.
All I remember is like seeing a landscape or something.
Yeah, I think they do that too, but it's like they have this life and it's idealistic, and they're happy, but like it's just contained like on a server. Yeah, like a fortress of servers, which I don't know. But if you're cool with that, then it's totally happy. So I'm not trying to kill anyone's buzz. I'm just trying to preserve the integrity of the show.
Yeah, who's buzzing on living in a server right now? Somebody.
I mean, it's not necessarily better or worse than what we're doing now, right? But if you could achieve the reality you want, then maybe it's a fair trade-off.
Life is so like bizarre and sometimes miserable. It's like if you're happier on the server, I'm not going to fault somebody for wanting to live on the server over real life. Fuck it, go for it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah,
it's like we all make choices. Name of this episode is Choices.
So what are some of the storylines or the things going on in Goofy Fruit? Because it's you think it's building to like serious story arcs, or is it always going to be kind of like newspaper type of like?
Wait, do you think it's newspaper? What?
Like like one, like some of them are like what I'm saying, like one page
so,
you can read a page and it's self-contained, and then
it's all of the above.
But it's like it seems like it's building though.
Yeah, in the Goofy Fruit right off the page, it's really just like the first drop of ink into this universe, and like we were saying before we started recording. Maybe I'll go into the backstory a little bit of it, but we started this really just as not even meaning it to be a comic, not even meaning it to be like any sort of project. So we're working on this other comic. This is me and Max Travers, who's my friend and main collaborator on comics. And we're doing this comic called Battle World, which is essentially on hiatus right now. And Battle World is like a bunch of monsters and like warriors and ninjas and vampires and pirates who like fight all day and like always like are fighting each other, like all the different tribes of people who fight. But then like that's just their day job. And like most of the stories take place like in this like dive bar that they drink at night called Brass Tavern. So like outside Battle World is just like constant mayhem, chaos, like people hacking each other up, all sorts of just violence. But then it's like, God, this job sucks. So then like the whistle blows at 5 o'clock and they just all drink together.
It's funny. That's
just
because
goofballs,
we met at the Versus signing, and it's
Yeah.
kind of linked.
Versus it's similar
Versus, like,
theme
the-
of like it's fighting for sport and
Right.
work. Yeah, Versus is an interesting book.
or job, or
but-
the government. Yeah.
So like we were working on that, and Max was doing these Froot characters as warm-ups, just as these art pieces like he would do. He's like, oh, I'm gonna draw a banana in a suit, and I was like, cool, do it. And he's like, and then I'm gonna draw these grapes and give him like, do-rags and stocking caps and kind of make him look gangsta. And I was like, sounds good. And then he drew the pepper. Bounce culture was really big there, so, and I think it's really kind of spread more.
What culture?
Bounce music, like
Like-
Big Frida, like
Okay,
booty bouncing.
Oh,
like, that's
I
kind of
love Big
like
Frida.
where like I guess twerking originated from.
Yeah.
It was through like bounce artists in New Orleans, like Big Frida is one, Sissy Nobi. I don't know as much as I should, but they're great. So that's where a lot of that came out of. Bouncy Blue was just like kind of grew out of that kind of personality. And we made it. So I had like $500, and that's like all I had left over in my bank account for like something creative. And so I wanted to max them. Like he did the prints by hand and like pencil, ink, marker, but then he scanned them and then colored them digitally. So there's kind of like little art series of 5 prints and.
Of just fruit characters?
Yeah, just the characters. And then like there's a Zine Fest coming up that we got into that we were like on the waiting list, and then like we got in like right before, and just enough time to like throw our money in to get a run of prints on all the images just to see what would happen.
Nice.
And like we sold like a decent amount, enough to be like, this is cool, let's keep going. And then from there, through like a series of coincidences, we found other shows to keep doing, and like we just started falling deeper into it. We added the pineapple character, and we added Blimey Banana, Strut and Strawberry, which are like our first kind of, they're all in the book. But that's when we started doing these one-page comic stories that were also prints, just to kind of test the waters of how they'd be received as comics. So,
Awesome.
yeah, and then from there, then we did a Kickstarter, and then we put this full book together. So, like, this really, long story short, this is just kind of getting to know the characters and getting to know the dynamics of the world a little bit.
Right off the page.
Right off the page, yeah. And I guess now I can say what we're working on now. So we are working on a volume 2 of the main book of Goofy Fruit. Not going to announce anything else about it yet, but it's just going to be bigger and better.
Is it going to be bigger? Like literally thicker and different?
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
That we got to figure out. I definitely have some ideas, but I know it's going to be longer. And it's gonna have
It'll be
more.
thicker.
It's gonna have all the fruits that you know and love from right off the page, and new characters
And new
too.
fruits.
There's a couple.
What about
comics.
vegetables, man?
Wait till volume 3.
All right.
Yeah, there's fruits and
But
vegetables.
I remember you were, even before I read it, you were telling me that you just throw humans in there. It's like and there's no question about it. It's just there's fruits and there's humans. It's just the way it is in this world.
Yeah, there's a couple human characters. I'd say it's like the ratio in my mind is like 95 fruits and maybe like 5% humans. The humans are really just there for some reason. I don't like to explain anything of like the physics of the world.
Right.
Like that's really, if you get hung up on that kind of stuff, then this isn't really for you. It's really not about that. Like there's definitely are rules, but it really just
It just happened,
Just
right?
never concern yourself with the rules of Goofy Fruit.
And there's a lot of like office humor. Like maybe I would go so far as to say like corporate satire even, or parody or something. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd say like I used to work in office for a while, and there was very much like I guess, kind of a culture of being in an office and business.
Yeah.
Which like part of it I relate to, but then I've always made fun of it. Like one of my biggest, earliest like influences in comic books was like Dilbert comics. I think that was my first like insight into the business world, and, like work culture, and I really had like a negative view of it from kind of that. I also was really into Office Space as a film, and I really hated like school, so I like related a lot of the frustration, anxiety that movie spoke to with my life as a student in a very nice school. I'm grateful, but
that's what school is. I think school is preparing us for that office life.
It's like no matter what your existence is, like there's like the frustrations were like Kafka-esque frustrations.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
It's a big word there.
Kafka-esque.
Kafka-esque.
Is that word ends with a Q-U-E, right?
Yeah, it's a esque. It's like a quiche.
I'm impressed that you just said that.
Felt right.
I'm glad we went there. I'm glad I'm hanging out with a guy who says Kafka-esque and puts it in his work.
Only on podcasts. But yeah, like so Boss Banana, but there's a lot of stuff in media like where the boss is the enemy.
Yeah.
And, like you think of like old, Fred Flintstone, George Jetson.
The dinosaurs.
I remember the dinosaurs. I don't remember the boss. I remember the boss
is
a
pretty
little
bad.
bit.
Pretty
but
bad
like
boss.
it's like the stereotypical asshole boss.
Yeah.
So like with Boss Banana, he's actually a great boss. It's actually.
I was just looking at a page where someone says his secretary says she does something. He's like, "Oh, fantastic! Why don't you take the rest of the day off?" He pours himself a drink and says, "Sometimes I amaze myself."
Yeah, like he's not perfect. You could maybe say he's a little bit smug, but it's kind of like. You're gonna say like LeBron James is a little smug. Like he's amazing at what he does. Like if he doesn't deserve to be a little bit smug, then who does?
LeBron James is smug. I think super talented, successful people get that way because they have an air of arrogance, and a little bit of arrogance will take you a long way. Unfortunately, that's the truth.
I don't know, but I feel like you have a right to feel good about yourself. I have a right to feel good about myself, and I guess maybe the better you are. Maybe the better you can feel good about yourself. Right. And maybe so few people are that good at what they do that maybe they just don't understand.
Right.
And that's my aspiration.
So all these people who, suck at life, suck at feeling good about themselves too. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe
if you're miserable and depressed, it's because you just suck.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying like maybe if you just start feeling even better about yourself, you'll start doing better at whatever your thing is.
That it does work like that. I don't
know if it's true, but try it. What are you doing now? Is that working?
I can say it's true, man. Going through a hard time right now, and I got to remember what I did years ago when I went through a similar hard time. Even though I like to focus on, all the things that other people don't, you have to force yourself to be happy. You literally just have to smile more and fucking say nice things to people and just be like that, and then it elevates your life.
It's always good to be nice to others and to give them lots of shit.
I actually,
in all ways,
I walk around just shitting on people. To be honest with you.
Well,
that's what I do these
days. That's a vibe too.
I have like a really negative. Like I see people, they don't even want to. They can't even look at me because I have such a negative fucking expression on my face. Why are you so angry?
Is it because of the short and the bald? Because that's no reason.
No, I got over that shit a long time ago, man.
But it's a good podcast name.
Yeah. More than anything, it's a catchy name. That's why I went with it. Yeah,
it's good. It's good.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, you get people to remember you.
Exactly.
As a short bald angry guy.
Yeah, the fucking guy. I'm gonna get made fun of for it. I know. If I have even a little bit of success, it's too easy to make fun of, man.
No, it's not.
It's all right.
Whatever. People make fun of success. It's great.
Yeah.
So what we were just talking about.
You're not successful unless you're getting made fun of, right?
Yeah, but
you need to be made fun of.
The problem is the people who can't laugh at themselves.
Yeah.
Fuck those people.
Fuck you if you can't laugh at yourself.
Are we picking up the playful cat above our heads?
We are.
Nice.
This podcast is full of ambient animal noises. That's definitely just built into the whole thing.
Dude, that's super cool.
Yeah.
It's like we're in a little jungle.
I used to that would have been something that would get me angry in the past, but now I'm just like, well, you know what? My life is the way it is, and the animals are here, and that's just what's going on.
Everyone likes cats.
No, that's not true.
Oh, everyone likes cats on their podcasts.
There's dog people, there's cat people, there's people who hate all animals, and there's people who love all animals.
It's weird if you hate all animals because you are an animal.
Someone would get offended. Someone would not see that as funny or correct, and they would be angry at you for implying such a thing.
Oh man,
I ain't no ape. I'm not a fucking ape.
Are you not? I think you are though. I think biological definition, we are.
How dare you come on my podcast and
Aren't we-
defend me like this? I'm about to kick you off my podcast for calling me an ape.
Yeah?
You damn dirty ape. Get the fuck out of my podcast.
Is this real?
No,
Okay.
this is fake.
This would be a good time for an ad break.
This is yeah. Yo, I need some sponsors. I need more listeners. I need sponsors. I need all kinds of
Who
shit
would
right
you
now.
want as a sponsor?
That's a good question because I have a pretty anti-corporate attitude in general. Like even
But corporations are just people.
yeah, right. They're just people. It's not like there's some. It's not like they generate their own momentum and cause wars and shit like that or anything like They're just people.
Well, they are people at some level at this point. I bet it.
It's not like they they're creating sweatshops and fucking factories around the globe in other countries and
Yeah. Well, what are you creating, Ian? At least they're
Podcasts.
They're doing something.
just podcasts, just farts and arts. That's all I do over here, man.
Yeah.
But yo, yeah, we're similar. We're similar. We're apes. We're artists. We don't generate corporate
apes.
or corporate material. We generate
Well,
art material.
I mean, if any corporations want to hire me to do what I do, I gladly will generate corporate material.
yeah, we were talking last night. You're looking to be. You would love to be a copywriter.
Oh, I'd say I'd love to make more money.
Make more money,
And that's a way to do it.
but write funny stuff for
yeah, well,
advertising.
I think that's something that I could get paid to do, and I'm be okay to get paid to do that.
I I totally think you
so-
could, man. Yeah,
And I do it now to some degree, but I could do it to a more degree.
yeah. Reach
but
more
yeah.
people, make more money.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the whole thing. It's like we live in, like, we were talking about this a little bit too. It's like we live in a society that's a capitalist, hegemonic society.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what you do to try to escape it, because it's still, that's the system in play on the highest levels. Like,
Around the globe.
who are you kidding yourself?
Yeah.
Like, even if you live on a commune, like, you're still part of the system. There's really almost nothing you can do to get out of the system or to not have an impact on it. And if you know better, because I don't think it's the best system.
Definitely a flawed system.
But yeah, if you're the person who knows better, there's no way you're gonna get those ideas out there without utilizing the system or being part of it. And
Absolutely,
it's like,
it's impossible.
if I could-
We have to. There's no way to move other than within the system. You have to move within the system.
yeah, but if you really care, the people you're trying to reach are the people in the system.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like try to change it from within. I mean, there
Yeah.
really is no other way because you're always within. Because
Yeah.
there was a time when it wasn't hegemonic, but now it is. But
Yeah.
but during that time, what wasn't capitalist was like feudal, and that was worse.
Yeah.
So a lot of people. That's why like a lot of people really like capitalism. It's like it's a free system. I could
And because
have my own
communism,
business,
and
yeah,
because the
like-
communist revolutions were so horrible.
Well, that too. That's like, but communism never really ever took hold.
That's
like,
what
at
I
any
agree.
point.
That's totally not understood by a lot of people who hate communism, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the beginning of like twisting definitions, because
Yeah.
by the original like communists would really have to be a world system to possibly work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they all just became like some sort of fascist system to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we've figured out the best system. That's like
Definitely not.
but there's definitely some things in capitalism I think are great.
What are they?
I like the idea like of markets being able to like set the price of different goods and services. Like if there are people who are not willing to pay you $15 for what you do, but they're willing to pay you 10, then like, well, the price of your thing is 10.
Like Goofy Fruit. How much is Goofy Fruit?
Goofy Fruit, you can get on my website for $7 plus shipping. It's also in comic book shops around New York City and other states. We're in.
You went around and dropped them off. Like
I have
me.
dropped them
You're-
out
you're
and sent
just
them
like
out. Yeah, like
walking to the store saying hello. I did this. Do you want it? Sell it.
I do. In New York, I'll do that, and then
Yeah.
we're in shops in Seattle, Washington, Denver, St. Louis, where Max is, New Orleans, Louisiana,
Awesome.
and one other place. Somewhere else.
But yeah, you like the fact like it would be pretty upset. I would be upset by it too. I could shit on capitalism all day, but I'd be annoyed if like
Oh.
the government told me how much my book costs. Or
Right,
How
it's
much I
like
can sell. How much my book
Books
is worth.
are $2.
Right.
It's like seems. I don't know what accent that was, but
That sounded Russian to me.
it was an attempt at it. But like,
Good job. It was
there's like I just think that mechanism, because to me that mechanism of like the market, it almost predates like the current form of capitalism. It's very democratic because it's a direct interaction with the buyers and the sellers, and like that conversation I think is really interesting. I don't think that's something. I think if any, that's something to preserve in whatever future system we have. But it's probably the negatives are pretty bad though.
I think if I wasn't into like writing stories and trying to bring them to life, I could be interested in trying to develop a new system. But instead I like to just make shit up and be like a big kid making shit up.
It's a lot of fun.
It's my business dream.
I mean, like, I think at some point in future works, I'll maybe explore some of those kind of concepts. I'm very into
right. That's what we can do it in our work. It's fun. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and like a lot of ideas that are in the world and active and operative come from, works of fiction, such and such. You name your own examples in your head. I'm not that well read.
Nice. Yeah. I'm glad you said that, man. Because that would have been awkward if I was like what? And you were like, but you beat me to the punch,
Mark
man.
Twain.
So you learn from Mike Grossman right now. If you say something and you can't back it up with facts, just immediately say, actually, just name your own.
I said, do your
example.
own research.
Yeah,
DIY. Yeah, like do it. You know how to use Google.
DIY.
Man. I don't have many specific recommendations, but I used to read a lot of books. Now I really don't. I do read comic books when I have the time. And I read a lot of stupid news articles, but like I'll be honest, I used to read tons of books. Now I'm like, books are almost kind of worthless in a sad way. Unpopular opinion, and I know it will be a very unpopular opinion. But
the door to my room is closed, but I think about like I'm just surrounded by books right now.
That's awesome though. I have nothing against books. It's not the problem with books. It's the problem with our society.
Yeah, just the fact that you're just saying people don't read books.
Well, that's part of it. That's never been good, but it's like the rate of change is going so fast right now, and it also this is a problem like with the cycle of capitalism, being like I have to pay my rent every month. I don't have that much time to read books.
Yeah.
And maybe the time I would spend reading books, I'm just like zoning out watching Netflix. But that's just kind of like saying the form of a book is better and more important than the form of a quality video.
I've never believed that. That's like an argument that I felt like I was hearing that a lot years ago. Now nobody. I feel like nobody's going around saying like you're stupid because you don't read books. People don't say that anymore. I don't hear anyone saying that.
Yeah, because no one reads the book.
Because nobody reads books anymore, right? Is that what's going on?
Maybe, and probably if you look at the book market, like it's definitely some interesting things going on, or maybe people don't read the book till they make a movie of it.
Yeah.
But like I think wisdom is very important, and every society, every generation,
knowledge.
But it's very hard to have that transference of wisdom because someone could tell you something that's a piece of wisdom, and you won't hear it unless you have a felt experience that relates it to something strong enough that you can put into practice. That's why like all these cliche sayings like sound stupid and cliche until they happen to you, and then you're like, oh, I get it. But it's not until that bad thing happened to you that you get it. So it's like you can't just like as good as it is to have all like wisdom from older stuff and the like Bible, Shakespeare, like wherever you're getting from, like all those were attempts at reinventing it from something before for that audience,
for that time.
Yeah, so we essentially have to recreate the wisdom, regardless of the fact that it's already there so many times. Like, unfortunately, that doesn't matter because that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So,
which is actually a positive thing when you think about it, because that means we can just keep reinventing the wheel.
Yeah,
and hopefully get money making it in the corporate system.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's like what you'll see is like in a lot of new forms of media, like they try to slip in breadcrumbs back to old ideas, stuff like that, Go back to the well.
Is there an example of that?
In Goofy Fruit?
No, in Goofy.
That'd
That would be cool if it was in Goofy
That's for the 9th grade English teachers to decide,
Specifically 9th grade.
Yeah, I had a bad experience there.
God, I can't remember what. I wish I could just shout out my 9th grade teachers right now. I can't remember.
No, but I had a good English teacher when I was a senior year. He was awesome. He was a good mentor to me. Yeah. And that's where we studied Kafka.
I gotta say, man, I love all my English teachers. Like we read books and we analyzed them. That was great. I enjoyed it. I was into that.
Sometimes you could overanalyze them.
Yeah, I mean there were some bullshit conversations, but I liked that they were conversations. So it was like everybody had most of the teachers I had were pretty good at like letting everybody chime in. If they read the book, obviously like half the class didn't read the book.
I was really bad at chiming in.
Me too. I was pretty quiet, but some teachers were able to like pull me out of my shell. And I'm passionate about storytelling and shit and making up fictional shit.
I'll be honest. I thought everyone in most of my class. Even the people I was friends with, I just thought the level of discussions were so poor.
Yeah,
and
some of them were really bad,
and like
man.
and like knew I had to participate to get a grade. So like I would always find these like weird gaps, and then I'd say like whatever was on my mind, and like my tone of voice, my whole tonality and presence would change. My friends would make fun of me for this. They're like, "Yeah, there's Mike and Mike's voice, and there's Mike English class voice." And I was like,
Can you do it right now?
I don't know if I can do it right now.
Oh,
I
please
feel like
try, man.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I think it harkens back to like a more formative stage and who I was and.
You gotta be in a classroom with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I need to like. I feel very comfortable here. There's cats and dogs and beers and like it's fine, but
it's nothing like a
but
classroom.
like yeah, I'd always like say my sentence, and then no one would respond back to it at all. There would just be another awkward silence, and they'd go back to whatever they were discussing, and it's like they were just discussing whatever they read on Cliff Notes. But like I always thought that's like it kind of relates to my whole thing with wanting to create stories because I'm tired of reading the other stuff that's out there. I want to create something different. So like I was, yeah, I was always like, I don't want to have this discussion. I want to have this discussion, but no one else wanted to have it with me. So here we are having that discussion.
I've been there myself.
Yeah, but
that's hilarious, man.
I just thought it was funny, and like I tried not to have this like shift in the way. It was like more like authoritative. I really can't do it, but because I'm a pretty quiet person too.
It's like an authoritative, like you're
yeah,
talking like, oh, I'm gonna.
I don't know. I think like I had trouble like really sticking behind. I believed in what I was saying, but also like it was kind of scary in a sense because like I was putting something authentic out there.
Yeah. It's definitely we were talking about last night. My biggest fear is participating in group scenarios. I clam up and
orgies are tough, man. I'm telling you.
I could perform in an orgy. I'm a physical guy, but when it comes to words, I'm good with words too. But not when there's more than like 10 people in a room, especially if I don't really feel comfortable around them. I don't want to talk.
See, that's the thing. Like a little bit for me is because I guess I do really enjoy performing. Like I do like doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah. Let's talk some about that, man.
Yeah, I could talk about it a little bit, but
Mike Grossman does stand-up comedy. If you want to book him in your town.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
I like comedy. It was almost like maybe at that point in my life, like not a lot of people knew about that side of me, so it was almost like felt like.
Did you know about? You didn't probably even know about it yet, right? Or you did. Yeah. You knew you were a comedian are you still talking about high school?
My whole life.
Your whole life. You've always known you were a comedian.
The whole thing.
Cool, man.
I have a funny family.
Nice.
Yeah, for better or worse. So yeah, like I always loved comedy. I would always spend hours watching like everything in Comedy Central, stand up, like sketch shows, movies, animation. Like that's what I'm trying to do here, folks. That's my shit.
Yeah.
Like I always do the best when I can make fun of something because there's just so much out there that just needs it. Like that's still like what drives me. I was talking to a friend of mine about our when we were at the diner last night, and like there's all these like prissy like academic elite seeming feminist women at the table next to us, and they're just being like so loud talking about checking their own white privilege. It was hilarious, and we were just trying to eat like turkey clubs essentially. And then like they eventually got to the left, like one of the husbands was like, sorry guys, you could eat in peace now. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
That was a charming guy. But yeah, they're just so loud.
I'm glad you focused in on it because that's probably something I would normally notice. I wasn't noticing it that much.
I wasn't listening to them.
Maybe my mind was elsewhere, but they were fucking annoying.
They were just so loud. Like, but I didn't want to hear any of the content of what they're saying because I knew
the content was super annoying.
I heard I didn't retain any of that information in my head. I just knew they were basically talking about social issues and in a way that I would probably disdain.
I remember I heard one of them sort of trying to justify how she's not racist, but she was explaining how she came across racist, like I guess earlier that day.
It's just
she did something that was racist without realizing it.
Yeah, and it's not even to speak to like the social or political issues directly, because we probably would agree in that sense, but it's just like the way they're going about it that is just fucking annoying. I don't like to be annoyed. That's it. Just
well, I think it comes back to comedy though. That's the only way to deal with that.
It's like
they were
having
shit.
they're having the conversation in the English class that I don't want to have. That's I think what it was. To bring it full circle.
Let's change the conversation, motherfuckers.
All right, what do you want to talk about now?
Well, actually, I meant that more, in relation to last night.
I want meta though.
Yeah. All right. Right now, what can we talk about?
I don't know. You got this info sheet?
Yeah. What do you think about this? Is this weird?
No, it's not weird.
I'm keeping information on you, man.
No, I don't care. Restaurants do it.
I'm putting
The
you in my.
government does it.
I have Excel spreadsheets on you now.
I don't care.
I'm gonna take notes on you, motherfucker.
It doesn't bother me at all, to be honest. It's the world we live in. Maybe I have notes on you. I just
So you
don't
were
tell anyone.
Yeah, you were touring with Max Travers, right? And,
It's
and
Max
Goofy Froot.
Travers. Is me, Max Travers, and June Clark.
Who's June Clark?
June Clark is our dear friend who is she's a poet and a model and like 6 other things. And she had a car, so we had to bring her.
Was she doing anything too, or was she just kind of accompanying and enjoying the ride?
Yeah, she was on. She was in for the ride. Yeah, we were all living in New Orleans, and so we all kind of did it together on the tour, and she helped out a bunch. And I guess she wrote poems at some point. She had some cool cosplays. She had a cool Catwoman outfit and some others. Cosplay is a lot of work, though.
Yeah.
But we went on. Yeah, we were working on. Honestly, this is like hilarious because when we went on the tour, which we went to 5 different Comic-Cons that were all like within a week apart. So we would go have the Comic-Cons on the weekends, and then we'd be like driving to the next location during the week, and like we'd
Taking your time a little bit.
Yeah, we'd have like a day of downtime everywhere we went, where like we'd probably like work out of a coffee shop and like eat weird food. Like it was like, there was stresses during the trip, but then like looking back on it like a year later, we were like, oh, I wish we were on the road again. Like that was so awesome. Yeah.
No, road trips when you're crammed in a car together, people tend to get on each other's nerves, but they end up being like the best memories.
Yeah, we didn't get on each other's nerves a lot. I guess we just had all like our own emotional things going on in our lives that were, Well,
it's like a road trip is like something
giving
you
us
should
feels.
never do. You should always be solving problems in real life. A road trip is like you're putting that all off to do the road trip, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we really wanted to like get the book out there to cons, and I think we maybe retain some fans from it.
When I say should, I mean you should do a road trip. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
That's
like
a great
I want to
fucking
do another one.
tours. Yeah, I think all artists, obviously musicians, like these days musicians don't really make money selling anything other than going to doing shows and stuff.
I don't make any money.
Yeah, I mean they make money doing shows, but it ends up just balancing out if they're lucky, And
That's how I feel too.
but we're in a similar position. We can kind of make money, like we can make money with the physical copies of our books. Mm-hmm. We can make money more directly with our art, but we also, going on a tour, if we're lucky, we're going to break even.
But like as a comic book artist and writer team, it's like, what do we do as a performance? Like, I guess I would like to maybe have something to do with like panels, because like as a musician, like you have the recording, but then you have the live show, and that's the real thing.
Yeah, you're a comedian and you're a great talker. You two would be great on panels. You could set them up.
You just got to set them up way before the con. You got to set them up early. So I'm working on it. I don't know. I gotta just.
Did you make good connections at the cons? So do you know who to email about that?
No, but all that stuff happens before I could figure out what I want to do.
I bet you could find someone and like put together a panel yourself and even invite people onto that panel.
That's a way to do it. Yeah. I'll eventually start doing them to some degree.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a book published now, so it's like my driver's license. So
hell yeah,
I could do it. Yeah. So like when we were on tour, we only had 3 pages of comic work.
Oh wow.
We had our but we were selling a lot of prints then, and since then, like we typically don't our prints don't sell as much as often, which I think it's totally fine by me. I just think it's kind of funny because when we didn't have a book and we just had these prints,
they were selling like hotcakes.
And the prints, like people would come and be like, "Oh, I want 4 of these prints." Or like, "Oh, give me like 5 of these prints."
I wonder, is it because you're just not putting the effort in, or
the prints are better now?
Shifted the effort into a different place.
I mean, it's not. I don't know what it is because like the prints are higher quality. I think they're cooler. It's just that maybe we're just not we're not doing as many shows now as we used to. Because we used to do these art markets every weekend in New Orleans, which were sometimes really good, and then a lot of times they were not so good. But
my ex sells jewelry, so I have a lot of knowledge on how that goes. You could make a ton one week and then lose the next.
Yeah, jewelry. Like I wish we were doing jewelry because that's good for the art market. But
jewelry sells much better than my art.
I don't know how you turn it into a comic though. But yeah, it's all good. I like the art market. It goes back to what we were saying before about like that very direct form of capitalism.
Yeah.
Where it's like people are buying directly from me as the creator.
Yeah.
It's kind of as that.
Yeah,
fun.
I would love. I could talk shit about capitalism all day, but I'm with you 100%. When you
Yeah,
when you get cash for your fucking
it's
art,
like
there's nothing that feels better than that. It feels like
there's an element
super
to
validating.
it of like marketplace culture,
Yeah.
which I really enjoy. Yeah, and that's something that I really like about like New Orleans has that kind of that almost like marketplace like circusy like traveling band of misfits
Hell yeah.
nature to it that I think I always liked.
Did you do night markets down in New Orleans?
Yeah, there was night markets on Frenchman Street. I don't know if they're still there, but we do the art garden, and then but there's another art market next to it, so it was just like a cluster of like 50, 60 artists. But like
So it was all artists. I was wondering
Yeah,
this
but-
was an art specific market because
Yeah.
I haven't really gone to the conventions or like art markets. I've been doing all these other tabling events that like
Well,
I don't sell that because nobody's there to buy that shit and it actually doesn't work out, you know?
I mean, it all depends what it is. Like,
Yeah.
like we wouldn't do that great sometimes because people really wanted touristy New Orleans tchotchkes to take home, and we had this weird kind of indie comic fruit stuff.
And then you got some family member in your ear saying like, "Can't you just make like a flower or like something
I don't know.
something location specific?"
I don't talk to family members.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like we
You
kind
don't
of got.
let family in. You're keeping the family out right now.
I've shunned them. No, I don't talk to them. I'll show up to Thanksgiving. I just eat and leave.
No words exchanged.
No words needed in my family. That's what I like about it.
He'll talk a lot on a podcast, but he's not going to talk to his family.
It's just there's a lot too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gets ugly.
but yeah, there will be a future character that's based on my father, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, you were telling me. What's
it's
up
not-
with that character?
His name is Dr. Melonberry, and he's a human who looks like my father. It's like a combination of my father and like Dr. Mario, because he's a doctor, and I imagine he has like the kind of stethoscope reflector thing on his head. I don't even know what that thing is on the head, but like I guess doctors used to have it in the 80s, and
Yeah, what is that thing?
I
That's a
don't
good
know.
question.
I don't know, but I'll look it up eventually and decide on it. But yeah, he's just like he's a doctor for fruits, and I guess humans too. But yeah, I just thought it's funny if he looked like my dad. Because why not? It's my comic.
Man, what does a fruit doctor have to say when he holds a stethoscope up to a fucking banana?
I don't mean like I imagine like the fruits could get like fucked up and like he heals them. Because my father has a really big thing about fruit where he'll like go to the store and he'll like talk to the fruit vendors and like ask them insane questions, and then like sometimes he'll buy fruit and then later return it. He'll be like, no, it's actually not good, and then he'll like want his money back, which is completely insane. Who the hell returns fruit? That's why I thought it was like funny if he was a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Dr. Melonberry, and he'll be in volume 2. So
What's your process like? Do you have any like routines you can share with us that might be helpful in terms of like waking up, or you all over the map like me?
this is not gonna be helpful for anyone. I mean, like, I'll wake up and yeah, I don't really have like anything that's crazy. Like, I'll wake up, like, browse the internet for a little bit, take a shower, and then if I'm working on comics that day, which is a good day, like, I'll just start writing. I'll make some coffee and just start writing. But I don't. Unfortunately, like, I'm not writing comics every day right now. I have to do other work.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, that energy.
Do you not want to talk about any of that work right now?
I just don't think it's that interesting. But like, I mean, I'll write like blogs for independent marketing companies such and such. If I could do more fun taglines, I think that'd be more fun as far as copywriting goes. But yeah, like really trying to have more energy for comics because there's some other projects that I'm kind of in the process of working on in addition to Goofy Fruit, and that's kind of one of my big goals for this year is get Goofy Fruit humming along.
Yeah, man.
And then get a couple other things out there too. So
I don't know how I can help you, but I want to help you figure out how to make it hum.
I'm only a couple blocks from here.
You want to sing a little bit? Should we just hum a little bit right now?
You want to hum? I don't know.
Goofy.
I don't know if this was a good idea.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. That's a bad joke.
Really bad idea.
Just fucking.
We're not as.
Don't let me do what I want on my show. I shouldn't be allowed. I don't even know. Someone should take the show away from me.
Yeah.
If we,
Is
this is
that
why
possible?
capitalism isn't good. The free market isn't good. Like people like me end up having a show, and then it's just like there should be some agency that's like doesn't let this happen.
I mean, I think you're good at doing the show.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. This is like, you got a cool environment. You got good mics. There's good lighting in here. You got beer.
There's a low ceiling.
The ceiling here is really low. It's like
I have a
Five.
callus developing on the top of my head from hitting my head so many times on the ceiling.
If anyone doesn't know, the ceiling in our little podcast studio is like
It's not
five-
Hobbit friendly.
It's like 5'4". So if you're above 5'4", you're gonna be ducking or,
I am
or slamming your head.
I am 5'4", so it's probably got to be like I think it's under 5 feet. I think that's what's wrong with it.
It could be 4'11". I was trying to be nice.
It's just the beam right here is definitely below 5
the
feet.
The beam is what fucks you up.
Yeah, watch out for the people. People often just go head first. Like it's bad when you hit the corner, like the top of your head in the corner. That's the worst.
You gotta
But
cut.
people walk like face first into
cut
it, and then they're
the-
like stunned for a second.
The top of your head is like has a wound on it
Yeah.
from repeated beam smashes.
It's interesting what starts to happen. It's barely even there right now. It's funny.
Okay, well,
I think I'm developing just a callus.
you should just wear like a padded hat.
I think about that all the time, man.
Yeah. Just like,
Knee pads. I think about wearing knee pads, elbow pads, helmet. Just you know,
like a-
be ready for all events and occasions. You know,
like
like
a
shin pads.
10-year-old skateboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as if I look like a skateboarder, that's cool. As long as I don't look like some other weirdo. If I would be more than happy to look like a skateboarder. I had dreams of being a skateboarder. I had so many
Yeah.
dreams that went down the drain over the years.
That's cool. I was never. I knew I was never coordinated enough to try it. So I never
Yeah.
did.
For me, I had to give up on a lot of dreams. For me, giving up on skateboarding, I was just too much of a coward. Because like to get good at anything when it comes to skateboarding, you have to literally be a little fearless.
Yeah.
You have to fucking do sort of psychotic things to even be like half good at skating. You know
I kind of regret it, I guess, because.
what? Not being psychotic.
Well, I mean, I guess I was psychotic in my own ways, but like now I'll be too old to learn because, like when you're young, like you have time to break bones and let them heal. But
Yeah.
now if I broke my bones, I'd be like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck up all my shit.
Yeah.
I can't be out here just breaking bones.
When you hurt yourself as an adult, it
Yeah.
means a lot more.
I know,
It
like
could help you in the long run. It might make you look at life and approach life differently, but it probably is just going to mess you up for a long time.
yeah,
Well, it's definitely going to mess you up, and then it's going to make you maybe appreciate and be more conscientious moving forward.
I guess maybe physical pain is a lot more tolerable than mental and emotional pain, though. Now that I think about it.
The older I get, the more I would rather choose physical pain sometimes over like the fire of emotional pain. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you get even older and like your body actually starts to break down, you're
Then
like,
you-
nah, the mental emotional pain is fine.
Yeah, old people are hard, man.
They survived the war.
I mean, there's some old people who are losing their minds, obviously, and it might be me in the future, but
Oh, they're all losing their minds.
But there's some who are really with it too, and they're just like they're hard. Like there's nothing harder to me than a really old woman. Like a woman who made it past 90. She might seem out of touch and hard to talk to, but she's hard, guaranteed.
Yeah,
Hardest.
she's out of touch because none of us survived the war.
Right.
She did. And we got nothing on her.
Yeah, seeming out of touch doesn't mean you're actually out of touch. She might be more in touch than we are.
Yeah, like we're all out of touch. I don't know where this society's going. Nowhere good.
Yeah. It's a mess. No, it's interesting where things are going, man.
It's
We're
bad.
obviously more distracted by media now than we ever have been.
Right.
And media, including everything, obviously
Including
just
this
Instagram.
podcast.
This podcast, we
It's a
were talking
distraction.
about the fact that, when you do anything, you're competing with everything. And, I'd like to think this podcast is a better thing to be distracted by than other things, but it is just another distraction. And when I think about all the things that should be done and what I should do to contribute to the world,
Yeah.
this is not the best thing I could be doing.
I don't know.
It's a pretty good thing.
If it makes you feel good.
It does.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who listens to it?
So far, my mom,
Nice.
my dad,
Hey.
my sister.
Hey, Ian's family.
Yeah.
You got a nice son and brother. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, listenership is low, but we're working on it. I got some schemes, some marketing schemes.
Low stakes, low pressure.
Yeah.
I can say whatever I want.
I'm a coward when it comes to performing in front of people, so I needed something low stakes to break me out of my shell.
That's cool. Yeah, I believe in going low stakes and then ramping it up as things progress.
As an approach.
Yeah.
So there is no. Let's say you have like your day. Like, what would be your best routine if you had your way?
Yeah, I guess like I had a better routine maybe when I was down in New Orleans, because I don't know. I had a whole system with Max where like one of us would make breakfast and then the other one would like later make dinner. It's very cute.
It's important. It's so partnerships are.
Yeah.
You can make leaps and bounds compared to somebody working solo.
Yeah, like
If you have a healthy partnership.
We eat this like same breakfast like every day, which is kind of like grounding, where you have like 2 eggs, like 2 strips of bacon, half avocado, a couple pieces of fruit, usually berries, and
you eat your characters.
And kale or spinach. It got to be a lot of kale, and then we have that and like coffee. But like sometimes we wouldn't eat it till like 12:30, so it was like almost lunch.
Like you would get started working, or you're just waking up late.
I would wake up early and do something, because Max is more of a night person, and I was more of a just normal morning person. But because a lot of times he'd be up to like 3 a.m. working on art. I'm not gonna stay up that late.
Art's like that. It's important to spend long stretches of hours. Like it doesn't happen in an hour or 2 hours. You have to. I was saying on another episode of this podcast, like 6 hours is good for me, with no breaks.
That's awesome.
That's the best way to be productive.
Yeah, I like to write like one sentence and then maybe take a break for like 3 minutes, and then probably come back to it the next day. That's how it works for writing.
It's like the Hemingway method. Start it, leave it half finished, and come back to the next day.
Yeah, I like.
That's what you're doing.
I like his method because in a part of that I heard somewhere, so I don't know if it's true, is that like he would stop writing when he knew what came next.
Yeah, just so he could flow the next day.
Yeah, so he could pick it right back up with something that he already kind of.
Yeah, in all seriousness,
I think that's
a genius approach. Yeah,
I think it's a smart approach. I try to take that with my own stuff and be.
Because there's another bit of advice, which is just when you think you're done, push further. But there's also like a time to go to. We have to sleep. So
yeah, I definitely hit diminishing returns with stuff. Like if I could kind of solve one creative problem a day with a writing session, then I usually think that's enough. And if I could do more than that, even better. But yeah, like I need to get. Like I know I have the capacity to be more consistent. It's just hard to then balance it with the survival stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So. Like I said,
making money.
Yeah, making money. So I'm working on it, but yeah, I'm excited for the other stories. So the new Goofy Fruit story, that's not the main book. We're doing a chapter story. It's a saga, which is about Poised Pineapple, who's our pineapple character, who's a karate and ninja master. And so this is like a real like martial arts story. It's and it takes place in 1989, so it's back in time in our universe.
What made you want to just say that? I thought you weren't going to tell us.
Well, I don't want to say anything for Volume 2. This is our Volume 2 probably won't be out until spring 2019, so that's too soon to talk about that.
Oh, that's Volume 1.
Yeah, this is Volume 1, but then
right.
This is like an offshoot story. That's just about the pineapple.
Oh, you're doing a spin-off, a pineapple spin-off.
Yeah, I guess you call it a spin-off. Like it's totally part of the universe, but we want to start also doing these stories that just go in deep with certain characters on certain scenarios. I almost think of them as like movies, because they're very self-contained, but they're also within the same universe as Goofy Fruit, and and a lot of them will be with the pineapple, but there will also be eventually lots of them with other characters. This is just the first one we wanted to get into. It's called Bromeliad's Keeper. So we're still figuring out. I think it may be online.
Yeah, you're talking about doing webcomics.
We're talking about doing it on webtoons.com, but that's not finalized yet. But so that's something I'll be talking about more like over the next 2 months, because we're going to be releasing it on a chapter basis. So we'll probably come out with like 3 chapters to start, and then we'll have a schedule where we're releasing a chapter, possibly once every 2 weeks, definitely once a month, until we finish the story. And then after we do that, we'll publish it in a hard copy. Mm-hmm. So we'll be doing that simultaneously with then working on Volume 2 of the main book. So yeah, like.
And he's moving here, and you guys want to.
Yeah, Max is
get an operation going.
Yeah, we kind of had our like nice like live work studio situation in New Orleans.
We're gonna recreate it here.
And we're gonna do our best to recreate it here. We'll definitely have less square footage because we had like a whole like townhouse there. It was a good deal.
Why not go back? Why be here?
I love New Orleans a lot, and it's like a second home. But I think at this stage in my life and career, it's probably a better vibe for me here. Like it's more resources, I guess, and more like a bigger community, more better business wise. Always go down there. I was just down there last week, hanging out, checking out friends, getting some books in shops. But yeah, this is where I got to be now. So,
Me too.
moving the headquarters north. So yeah, I'm pumped. I don't know. I'll keep it here in Bushwick and some other location, but
You looking forward to having cookies and breakfast?
yeah, I guess. It'll be all right. I kind of eat the same breakfast, but I've kind of morphed it a little bit, where I don't eat as many avocados now because they're like $4 here when they were like $1.50 down there. They're way too expensive to be eating the avocado every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care what they say.
The worst is when I let one go rotten. I really hate myself when I let an avocado go bad.
Yeah,
I'm so upset
bought
about it.
one. I bought one before I went to New Orleans, and then I wouldn't have time to eat it, so I brought it on the plane with me because I'm super dedicated to avocado culture.
Is there an avocado in Goofy Fruit, or is there going to
There will be.
There's gotta be,
Yeah,
man.
there will be probably.
be? What a fantastic fruit that
debuting
avocado is.
in volume 2. Yeah, there's like so many
It's the
characters.
unicorn of fruit.
I don't know about that. But
It's a fatty fruit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like our avocado.
It doesn't have
character.
sugar. It's fat.
Doesn't have sugar. It says fat. That's true.
I only know this because I just did a keto diet. So you're not allowed to eat fruit, which is insane.
Yeah, and all of
But you're allowed to eat avocado.
Yeah, the keto diet was cool, but I also like to eat bread.
Yeah.
So
No, keto diet. I'm not saying the keto diet's cool. The keto diet is not cool.
it's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do it right.
I'm not going to get any sponsorship from the keto diet on this fucking podcast.
Oh man, I don't know. You never say never. Maybe you'll change your mind.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can edit. I'll have to go back and edit episodes.
Just be like, I thought keto was fake, and now I know better. And if I can do it, so can you. I don't know. Just like
Is there anything
Maybe
that
you're wrong.
is there anything that annoys you these days, specifically related to like the news or your work, or
the news is quite annoying.
you get pissed off with the news?
Not that much, but I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff happening right now. But I don't know if I don't like find it annoying. Like I find it terrible.
Yeah.
And sad and scary.
Terrible, sad, and scary.
Yeah, that's my podcast. Terrible, sad, scary. Yeah, there's a lot of rough stuff. Like that's a lot of people doing like dark dystopian stories, and we didn't want to do that with Goofy Fruit. We kind of wanted to do a 180-degree turn and do something that was completely like a palate cleanser of all that. At some future point, there's a lot of dark dystopian stories I'd like to tell. But
It seems like you could bring it in if you wanted, but it is pretty.
I mean-
it has, like we said, the office culture jokes going on.
no, but that's like
So
mundane
there is
life,
an element
you know?
of corporate in there, but it's not. Yeah, it's not like condemning society or anything as a whole.
I mean, it's not like an apocalyptic story.
Right.
Like if we did an apocalyptic story in Goofy Fruit, like that would be hilarious.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do that.
Because we get to make fun of everything.
Yeah.
Like in different ways. Like the Bromelia's Keeper, like is making fun of martial arts films. Is making fun of stuff like like Die Hard and
Yeah.
like Lethal Weapon. It's like that kind of 80s like over action like.
So it's like
kind of
more
film.
parody than regular Goofy Fruit in a way.
Yeah, it's like it's completely part of the Goofy Fruit universe. It's just a different corner of it.
Yeah.
Is what I'd say. So
Yeah.
like I'm pretty excited to finish this story and then get volume 2 finished, and then I think at that point hopefully there'll be enough material out there for people to kind of get it, because I think a lot of people, even after reading right off the page, like still aren't sure what's going on. And that's one of the things of comics, like you need a couple issues maybe to get people to fully get what you're doing.
Would you say that even you kind of need to get past a certain amount of issues to know it is yourself?
I know
you know what it is.
I know everything. Yeah.
But I do feel like it applies
I
to
know a lot of stuff.
It applies to a lot of comics and shows though, where it's like apparent that they don't really hit their stride until they get to season 2 or they get to like volume 2 or whatever.
Yeah, like I'd say like in terms of what has been produced, like it hasn't hit our stride just in like the nature of comics creation, like where our minds are going, like we're already so far ahead of what we've published.
Yeah.
That it's just getting to the point where we're able to reflect that in what we've done.
Yeah.
and eventually we'll kind of just be more
It's-
comfortable. Like we'll never
It's
be
the work. It's just
Yeah.
the work needs to be put in so that it can be reflected so other people can see it.
Yeah, and like we'll always want to be kind of creatively like ahead of the work that's out there because that's kind of how it goes. That's like I was saying before. It's like you're trying to stay ahead of that cart that's chasing you down the hill.
It was sort of a Sisyphus thing, but
Yeah, so it's like a
reverse
reverse
Sisyphus.
reverse Sisyphus where you're just trying to stay ahead of your wagon. But like eventually, like we'll never be like happy, but at least we'll be like, okay, this is like kind of you get the point.
It's an interesting concept in relation to capitalism because capitalism and corporations, they're sort of like they become their own engine, and they have their own momentum and they can get out of control. And that's essentially what you're saying is going on in your life with your own creation. It's like getting ahead of you, and you can't keep up with it, or it's rolling over you or something like that.
Yeah,
Right?
and like as far as like the brand and like getting people to know about it, like I hope that gets ahead of me. Like I like when I see like every once in a while on Instagram, like someone will post a picture of Goofy Fruit somewhere, and like I don't know who this person is. And
Oh, yeah,
like
it's
that's
awesome.
cool. Like we're out in the world, and random people are seeing something and then connecting to it.
Yeah, some people
so-
get uptight about it, and they're like, "Yo, you gotta shout me out. You don't have the right to do this." But I'm all about like, God, if you get shouted out by a stranger, that's the best thing.
Yeah, I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
I would love.
you
for
need
people
exposure.
to shout me out if they know. I mean, I write Goofy Fruit on like everything on the stickers. And
Yeah.
So like, not everyone knows how to read. I want to be sensitive to that. But
True.
yeah, like just putting it out there. Like if they don't tag me, that's fine. I don't care. But yeah, like if someone's like, "Can I repost this?" I was like, "Yeah, just tag us."
Yeah, it just minimal effort.
Just an attribution is really all that's needed. But
Yeah.
I really want it to spread to as many people as possible. That's why
the
I'm
dream.
always trying to give out stickers, buttons, just little ephemera because, like there's just definitely a brand behind it, and a big part of it is like allowing people to connect into something creative that could be part of their kind of existence.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is all kind of DIY, I think something speaks to just kind of just what we're putting out there.
Yeah.
Like I do want to connect to all sorts of people. That's kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like there's a lot of dystopian stuff. We want to create something that's different, and part of that is showing people that we're all just people, and some of us are also fruit.
And there's a light side to life that doesn't need to be totally overlooked
Yeah, it's
in
like
this effort to make serious art.
Yeah, it's like everyone's doing a lot of serious stuff right now, but everyone deserves a break, and Goofy Fruit is the break.
Nice.
Yeah.
There we go. So you're pretty chill then. You don't think of yourself as generally like an angry person running around shitting on the world, or
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
you're
I'm not
a
angry.
comedian, so you
I'm not
you might
angry
be
right now.
shitting, You might be shitting on the world, but
Do you
it's
want
for a
me
joke's
to get
sake.
angry? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel so chill right now. I definitely.
That's the problem, man. This is like such a chill thing, and it's an awesome thing. And you talk to everyone who comes on the podcast. I love them. You get to know them. You get to know people more. You grow to love them even more.
Yeah.
So it's like the anger element. I don't know. I don't know how
I've
that's going to come
been
in.
angry in my life.
Yeah.
But I'm way less angry now
That's cool.
than I was in the past. So I think I've a lot healthier relationship to it.
Are you conscious about it? You consciously defeated it, or is it just like
No.
circumstances changed?
I mean, I think I'm better at managing it. I think circumstances change. You get older. Your perspective on the world changes. Your
Yeah.
kind of view of yourself changes, and just kind of, for me, I realized that I don't have that much to be angry about. I mean, like, or the things I'm angry about are probably good things to be angry about, and I could be at peace with that. And then I try to direct those energies, I guess, in just healthier ways. So
Yeah.
I like I'm back on the martial arts journey. I've been doing Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu at the Hammer and Nail, which is a block from here on Troutman Street.
Yeah, we're giving a lot of free advertising out to this neighborhood today.
That's fine. I do like this neighborhood a lot.
Maybe
I
that's
think
where my
this neighborhood-
sponsorship needs to come from. I just need to walk around the neighborhood and tell them, "Hey, I've been talking about you on my podcast. You owe me some fucking sponsorship."
You know what I think would actually be really interesting if you really wanted to market this podcast to people in this neighborhood.
Just market the shit out of this neighborhood.
Well,
Yeah.
have more people in the neighborhood listen to you.
Yeah.
Because I think we've lost something with the ability that technology could connect us to anyone around the planet, which also is good, is to have this focus on the people around you. Like the more
I say this all the time, man. Community is what it's all about.
Yeah, like the more I've gotten to know different people in the neighborhood and businesses, like the more it's felt like home.
Yeah.
Which has been super cool and positive.
I love being able to walk
like
down the
that.
street saying hi to everybody. You know, it's like
you're a friendly guy.
not just that I want to be like the mayor, but it's like it's the greatest feeling when you know everybody. I didn't think about that. That's funny, man. That's actually a thought that didn't cross my mind until right now.
Yeah, it makes the world
market myself to the neighborhood and try to get sponsorship from the neighborhood.
Like, when there wasn't podcasts and it was all just radio, like you'd have your local radio station, your local DJ, and you still have that, but now, just audiences and tastes are so diverse. But I like the idea of like, it doesn't have to just be this neighborhood, but like, you're kind of seeing who's around and bring them in a little closer.
Brooklyn, definitely Bushwick.
Yeah. Brooklyn, Bushwick.
There's a lot of podcasts. Like when I've always known like everybody does podcasts, but then when you start putting them out, other podcasts start following you, and you start following other podcasts. And there's so many happening right in this neighborhood right now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's probably someone recording one in this building.
It's all probably right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just we all just want to connect. It's really that simple. Like you don't need to worry necessarily about how big it is or any of that kind of stuff. It's just like this is your.
I'm definitely just worried about making money. I just want to make money and not like go broke while doing all these dream projects, going broke doing dream projects, working jobs I don't want to do.
I mean, it's so important to make money.
Yeah.
If you can't make money doing something, you should pretty much quit and not do it.
There is a relationship between the money and whether you're actually like doing something worthwhile. And I don't want to make that sound like if you're not making money, you're not doing something worthwhile. It could just mean you're not connecting.
Just fucking around.
It could just mean you're just not connecting to your base, but there is something to be said for it. Like I could shit on capitalism and money. I could totally do that. But the truth is if people are paying for your product, your product has value and it's worthwhile.
Absolutely. It's just that you got to find ways to be able to do it like more increasingly completely full time. Like that's the goal.
Yeah.
Like anytime I make money with Goofy Fruit, like that money feels clean as a whistle, but survival is important.
Money.
Yeah, because making money from the art. Yeah, so just trying to. That's why I'm trying to do so much to build out the infrastructure and create more products that people like, especially like t-shirts and that kind of crap. Because people like our t-shirts, man.
I'd rock a Goofy Fruit t-shirt.
Yeah, man.
The chili. I want the chili, man.
We're retooling the store right now, so probably by the time anyone listens to this, it'll be up and ready on our website, goofyfruit.com. That's GOOFYFROOT.com.
All links in the description.
Yeah, it's important to spell fruit with 2 O's. That's really key for us, like Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
No relation. But yeah, so we're doing it so like you could kind of get any kind of shirt you want from our characters, whether like t-shirts or tank tops.
You want to have every character available on a shirt?
Maybe at some point. I mean, it's really based around what people buy. Like we've done banana shirts, gangsta grape shirts, poised pineapple shirts, pepper shirts. Most recently, rad raspberry shirts.
Rad Raspberry, which made me think. I don't know if it was Ray Raspberry, but it made me think of Ray Radberry.
Ray Radberry. Yeah.
Is that Ray Radberry? Is that what I commented?
Yeah, you said something like that. And I chose to ignore it. Yeah, like Rad Raspberry.
You gave it a like, man.
Maybe that was Max.
Oh,
someone once was like, yeah. It's probably
so you didn't
more
appreciate it.
No,
you were like, this guy thinks he's funny over here. He's stepping in our creative territory.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like that one time in New Orleans where we're at an art market and this fucking guy in like some stupid, it was like a "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" shirt, like runs up to me and he's like, "Make America grapes again."
It's funny though.
It was funny,
It's
but
funny,
it was
man.
like a lot of people would come by and like make stupid comments to us.
Yeah.
And, like we'd make fun of them all the time.
Yeah.
So and like for weeks we'd be like, oh, someday someone's gonna come up to us and be like, "Make America grapes again," and I'm just gonna kick him in the balls.
So you predicted it before
I
that guy came up?
predicted it. Yeah. And then he ran away too fast, but I was gonna kick him in the balls.
You didn't get to kick him in the balls?
His life had already kicked him in the balls. He looked like a real idiot. So I was just like, great.
Kiss Me, I'm Irish, man.
Yeah, he like just came off Bourbon Street.
What's the Italian I want an Italian shirt version of Kiss Me, I'm Irish. What would it be? Do you know?
Let me grope you, I'm Italian.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Or grope me, I'm Italian, because I don't want to I don't,
Well,
I don't want to
that's-
offend anybody.
Well, I made it more offensive by saying
Yeah.
that Italians are gropers.
Grope me, I'm Italian.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that shirt. I'm single and I'm lonely.
Yeah.
Grope me, I'm Italian.
Cool. Yeah.
Not you.
Don't grope me.
Yeah. Not here. It's too intimate in here. Be
Yeah.
weird.
Well, you'll be exposed.
We have this great relationship building. You'll fuck it up if you grope me right now. So please, hands off.
Exactly.
So yeah, man. What do you have any other projects or
there's
any other
more?
things you want to like shout out or talk about before we start wrapping up?
I'll say you could go to my website, my own website, which is just MikeGrossmanWriter.com.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to reveal any of my other
Yeah, don't.
comics
I'm
I'm
not
working
about
on.
revealing things that aren't copyrighted or like
it's
at
all-
least let them be copyrighted
It's
before you.
all
do
copyrighted.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even need to file it. It's just by the fact that you created it, it's copyrighted. It's just better if you file it.
Yeah, I'm more on the side of like file it and then start talking about it
Yeah, I mean, like,
because I'm not too superstitious.
You
Some people don't want to talk
stole-
about things until they're done because they feel it's like something's gonna ruin it. But
I mean, if someone actually stole one of my ideas, like, I'd probably beat him up. I believe in street justice, so
Yeah.
just let that be a warning to you.
yeah, I can help you with that.
And if
Call me
I
up,
try to
man.
beat you up and then you kick my ass, then it's your idea because I also believe in street justice.
Street justice.
Yeah, and if you beat me, then you can have it. I'm scared of you. But I may try.
Very funny, man.
But yeah, so like when those projects materialize a little more, it'll be on that website, and I'll be talking about it. And you
You're
can
always
follow
welcome
me.
to come back on here. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll have
I'll
more
come back.
followers by
Yeah.
then,
Well,
more
yeah.
listeners.
Maybe I'll have 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Even. That'd be cool.
That hurts, man. I have 10. I have 10 followers.
Nice.
Okay.
So maybe I'll have 15.
Yeah.
But yeah, my Goofy Fruit is on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then you can follow me at Good Great Grossman on Instagram and Twitter. And Max is Maxwell Inks with 2 X's. But you don't need to follow him. It's okay.
Yeah, he's not welcome on this podcast either. He's bad news, right? Actually, tell him he's welcome here, and I would love to talk to him if he wants to come on when he moves here finally.
We'll come on together. So,
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That's why I have these 2 microphones, is for that
Oh,
reason.
yeah?
Exactly. Yeah,
Well, you need like a 3rd microphone then.
I have one.
Oh, cool. Well,
Yeah.
then you're all set. You don't need my help. Sounds good. Yeah. Anything else? What are you working on?
Yeah, no, I mean,
What's going on with you?
I could tell you what I'm
What
working
gets you angry?
on. Right now, I am
What's
angry.
been getting you angry?
I
Are you
won't go
scared
into
of
what's
anything
been getting
inside?
me angry.
I'm just reading the questions on your sheet now.
What else is there, man?
How can you flourish to the full extent of your potential possibilities?
Yeah.
Here on Earth
Yeah.
or on another planet?
Is that not there? Did I not write that?
No, you did write that. You capitalize full potential like it's a big concept.
It is, man. It means a lot to me.
That's cool.
It was a music video I made for my buddy, and I had a moment where I was like, "Yeah, full potential. That's what
Yeah,
life is all
actually,
about. You want to be actualizing. You want to reach your full potential, even if it's a small thing. Whatever your thing is, you want to get to it. You know."
Yeah, I have a question. Can art and entertainment coexist?
I actually hate that question. I need to rephrase it because it's a pretty douchey question.
Yeah.
But I think they have a way of canceling each other out. Like
Oh, yeah?
art can not be entertaining at all, you know, and like entertainment can make something feel like it's not art at all. But I think it's beautiful when they do coexist.
Yeah,
Some of my favorite stuff.
that's true.
I think you have.
That sounds like
I
a
think
question
you.
for a smarter guest.
I think you actually have it. No, fuck that, man. You have it going on with Goofy Fruit. Goofy Fruit
thanks.
is art and it is entertaining.
I
It's a
appreciate
perfect
that.
example of how they can coexist.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Not
Thanks,
even-
Ian Cinco.
Yeah, man.
I feel good about myself.
You should.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing,
And
man.
you should feel good because you made me feel good. That's what you said before.
That's what this podcast is about. It's a feel good. It's called short, bro. It's a
Maybe you're-
misnomer. It's
maybe
not.
you're
it's
not,
not
so
actually
bald
angry.
after all.
I don't know what that means.
Hey, it's-
I have hair on the side. I could have like a really gnarly haircut if I let it grow out.
yeah?
But
You grow like a hair, like just like a Fu Manchu mustache, but just in the front of your head.
no, it's
like
pretty.
a-
there's like
Like
there's
a
like one.
narwhal spike of hair.
There's one. There's
Whip
literally one hair right here at the
Really?
tip.
Grow
Yeah.
it out. Can you just put like Rogaine just on that spot, and it'll be like.
Challenge accepted. I'm gonna grow out the one hair just for Mike Grossman.
That would be a strong one hair. I think
It's pretty weird though, man. The hair is pretty much all gone here. I got like fuzzy shit that kind of grows out.
That's cool.
But there's one right at the very tip, right where the widow's peak would be, you know?
Bald is beautiful.
Look at this cat right now. Is that not cute?
Oh,
He's playing with the film strip.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're allowed to leave, but only after you answer one more question, man.
Okay.
What's your advice for young creative people or any creative people?
Oh, just probably create whatever's in your heart, because it'll probably be better than what I do, and then you could take over the world. That's it. It's like whatever you got, it's probably the right thing. Don't doubt yourself.
Or you heard it here. If you like this guy's ideas, just come beat him up, and then
That's
they're
really
yours.
true. That's really true.
You get it all.
I mean, I'm not welcoming people to come beat me up. But if you steal it, I'm gonna come after you. And if you fight me off, then
right.
I have then 6 months to get stronger.
So that's the advice. You have to first steal the idea, then he's gonna come beat you up, and if you can beat him, then it's yours.
I guess that's what I said, isn't it? Now I gotta live by that.
Street justice, man.
Street justice. That's the name of my new comic. Street justice.
The one that what's the name of the one you were talking about? The one that you're not doing right now, where the people fight and then they go to the bar.
Oh, Battle World. Yeah. Well, Battle Worlds will be. I wasn't gonna say this, but oh god. So
Don't say it if you don't want to be serious, man.
we're working on like doing a couple zines in the Battle World universe that are just like very short, like peeks back into the universe, which is
Well, it's kind of how Goofy Fruit got going, right?
it's kind of how we got going. Yeah,
So maybe it'll be a good impetus to get the other one going.
Yeah, I mean these are just gonna be like very short, like little like tracks, like maybe like an 8-page story.
Hell yeah, man!
And like just to kind of revisit them a little bit. And I've wrote one, and I guess Max will probably start in the art maybe in a couple weeks, and then we'll see what happens. And if we feel good about it, we'll do a couple more.
Hell yeah, man!
And that's all I got on that.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and if anyone wants, if you want to see some old Battle World stuff, you gotta like message me on Instagram and I'll send it to you.
I want to see it, but
So,
does that
yeah.
mean I also have to message you before I get to see it?
I'll show you.
Okay.
I can show you after this.
Cool.
Cool.
Can I screen cap it and then we can play it? Or is that a bad idea?
Screen cap what?
You showing me on my computer.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
I don't know if that's a good idea. We'll see.
I mean,
Maybe it's there, maybe it's not.
it's fine by me. Yeah.
But this has been another episode of Short, Bald, and Angry. I actually don't have a closing.
Oh, cool.
I was about to hop into my closing. Maybe I need one.
How can people find your work/art/app? You have app creators on here?
Oh, I forgot to delete that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of copy and pasting with my documents.
Did you steal these questions from someone?
No.
They might come and beat you up.
That's all right. They can try.
Cool.
I'm actually I'm a fighter. I am a fighter. I'm a metaphorical fighter, and I'm trained in fighting as well.
Yeah.
But I think you might be able to kick my ass
I don't think
if
so.
you're doing jiu-jitsu and shit.
Yeah, but I'm not that good.
Yeah,
I'm
but
still learning.
grappling, man. People like they're all about. People think of fighting as like this, like wild flailing shit, but if you keep it in, It's all about wrestling and grappling. That's where the real fighting happens. Choke them out.
You know, it'd be cool though if I had like, guns for hands. Then I wouldn't need any of this shit.
There was a show, right?
There was
On
something.
Netflix.
Yeah,
I saw that.
there's
Like the
something.
guy had like the implants and he was fucking firing off of his hands. I didn't see it.
Like, what if I was like, the man who was born with guns for arms?
Hey, what if? I mean, you couldn't drink a beer. That would be pretty sad. You'd have to drink beer.
I
out
mean,
of a
I would
straw.
have to hold it with both hands, but like no one would fuck with me.
It's like Edward Scissorhands. You're
People
Edward
would help me
Gun
drink
Hands.
beer because I've got gun hands. Yeah,
Gun hands, Mike. Gun hands, Grossman.
gun hands, Grossman. Oh. Nice.
All right. On that note,
Get it done.
thank you for coming on the show, Guns Hands Grossman.
Thank you.
You're always welcome back.
Okay.
Peace, brother. Now we're recording. Hello. Yes, we are. Let's hear your voice.
Hello.
Yeah, you don't have to talk that close. unless
That's
you
too
want to.
close. This is.
You got your hand on the thing.
Yeah, I gotta do it like this. 'Cause,
All right.
I'm a righty with computers.
All right, Mike Grossman. What are we doing right now? What are we looking at right
So
here?
we're doing a creators and Ian Cinco's commentary on a comic that I created, me and Max Travers.
You're inviting me to comment on this?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want because I don't know what I'll say. So maybe you follow along too,
All right.
and then you be like the side man.
All right, I'm a
of
side
this.
man.
Yeah. So
It's
yeah,
called Battle World.
Battle World. Yeah, I feel like we spoke about it on the podcast, right? The
We did.
monsters, warriors. They're just a lot of drinking.
To a listener, this is all seamless, but to us, this is like months later,
This is like a month and a half later. Oh, actually, no, like, yeah,
maybe 2.
almost 2 months later. But
It was back in September when we talked.
yeah, we should probably edit all this part out. But we'll see.
You say that off. You actually say that on the episode. You should cut this out. I'm not cutting anything out. It's all going in.
Yeah, I think I was saying to cut stuff out for your benefit, but I don't remember. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So here we are. Let's go.
Yeah, so this story is the beginning. So we never finished this story, so I have a lot of the script written. I don't know if we'll ever get back to it or it'll just be like a lost episode. So this could be seen a lost Battle World segment here. So this is part of a story. It's called main character, one of the leads in Battle World is called Axel. Axelander Shredhammer is his full name, and he's a rock musician. And this.
So who are we looking at here?
This was another character. Her name is Acynthia. I think it was Acynthia C8700 because she's a cyborg, and she's also a fighter, and a drinker. So yeah, we see her in this first panel here. This is in Brass Tavern. So Brass Tavern is definitely kind of modeled after a couple different dive bars in New Orleans that Max and I both would frequent when we were living down there. In particular, Snake and Jake's on Oak Street, as well as the Saint that was on, I guess, St. Mary. It's right around the corner from when we lived on Laurel Street, so we just go there all the time, and usually at like 3 a.m. is when it starts to get busy.
Nice.
What were you pointing at?
Scroll.
But we haven't even started
show
yet.
us some of this comic.
All right, well,
Are
yeah.
you gonna read it?
Are
you feeling like you might read a voice? Don't do that. Just scroll down the page.
Yeah, I don't think I might. I think I was maybe able to do a little Axel voice, but that's probably it. So yeah, so this was about this story is about Axelander's and the No Good Very Bad Day or something or the other. It was a play in that Alexander book. Who wrote that again?
No Good Very Bad Day.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I think it was maybe I want to say Judith Viorst, but it's completely wrong.
You could Google it right now.
You could Google it, but I'm totally immersed in this commentary. So yeah, this comic starts off with this cold open on Acynthia. So if you could find the original Battle World story called Lack of Morales, which is out there somewhere, lost in cyberspace, this is like Max got way better with colors from where he was at previously. He'll look at this and like hate it and not want to talk about it, but I still really like the way this looks, and it's definitely a big step up. This actual piece, this 9-page story, is definitely a progression. Shows a progression from when we started, like an attempt to make a comic towards kind of where we are, with Ripe Off the Page and then going forward. So you can see a couple of things, that Max and I both like in kind of comic storytelling is doing. This is like in between an inset pull-out panel where you just kind of hyper-focus on not necessarily the character's face or a shot that includes their face, but just maybe part of their anatomy that's doing an action. Like here, you see kind of ripping of her jacket.
When she flexes, her
when
jacket
she
rips.
flexes, yeah, because she's got those metallic muscles that the Marvel people have. So
a lot of cyborgs actually out there.
yeah, so she could tell that she's been drinking. She's pounding there at least her second shot, and she's got half a pint going. In the back you see there's photos on the wall. These are of Braff's grandfather. This is Braff down here. He's the owner of Braff's Tavern that he inherited from his grandfather, Papio Braffington. There's also, other members of his family have pictures up like Brafferham Lincoln, people like that. So yeah, so Cynthia, she's like, oh, so Brett says they're on the house because what's a few beer brewskis between us cyborgs. So yeah, Brett thinks he's a cyborg. He's a very dumb guy because he recently found out that his grandmother is a cyclops and he doesn't really know the difference. The whole cy prefix, it's all a wash in his head. So, Cynthia's saying the record straight. Then Braff kind of goes into here, oh no, definitely am. My grandmother was a cyclops, so that makes me, maybe like a part cyclops. I don't know what that would be called, but and then she's remembering that his grandmother's not dead. He's never spoken to her or ever seen her in person, which is very sad, which is what Cynthia says. I think that's me and the Cynthia talking here. She also just lives downstairs in like the basement storeroom, and she's been there for decades without Braff knowing. So it is actually kind of really sad. But his grandpap was ashamed of her because she's a cyclops and tried to hide her. And then she also was a track coach. That was relevant for some reason earlier in Lack of Morales. So while this is all going on, at least she's had at least 3 shots and finishing the second pint, so she's a little toasty. You see, this is actual Shredhammer entering the bar. and immediately becoming the center of attention again. You have Braff get me a beer. So I'll do Axel's voice. It's always like very metal. I need my water. Here, let me do a quick sip.
I'm the water boy on this show.
Oh, thanks, Ian.
I'm the host and the water boy.
All right, I feel way better now. So he was like, Braff, give me a beer! Yeah, you probably have to adjust the levels for Axel Shredhammer. But that is how Axel says pretty much everything. Yeah, and you got, this is a little sign above the door that I forget exactly what it said, but it was supposed to have some sort of a deep meaning to it. Maybe we'll see it in another shot. But yeah, this is the title. We call it Axelander and the No Good, Very Bad, Rotten Day.
Shout out that author real quick.
Yeah, you should look that up.
Her name is Judith Viorst.
I knew it.
Is that what you said?
That's what I said.
You got it right.
See? So it's my parody / homage. I forget which is which. Or is it both? Yeah, here, this is like a very old image that Max did of Axel, Skull, the skeleton, and then Ninja, he's a ninja. This is a logo over here, which I actually really like this logo a lot still. Just like has, it's like a pirate's wheel, but all the little spokes are different things. You got a sword, a beer, a axe guitar, a bone. This is like a Dothraki thing, a cigarette, and a battle axe, and of course a middle finger, and the fist. Okay. Okay, so I clicked the wrong one. And yeah, here's the next part. Oh, are you back?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Cinco had to leave. It's good. It was okay because I clicked on the wrong one on this Tumblr, so I had the 404. But I went over this nice top image here. This is from like 2013 or 2014. This stuff is super old. If you could get over to battleworldtv.tumblr.com. You could find this stuff. So Axel comes in. He's all covered in like weird goop. This is clearly shit. He's very upset, and Axel's trying to order a beer. So I like this here where we have all these different kinds of beers. So we have a brownish beer, fizzy type beer, good for drinking beer. There's a sour beer, and this is what he likes to call a mouth beer. So that's Braff. Then Axel's kind of upset because he just made a big dramatic entrance and demanded a drink. See, obviously he's a man with an epic tale of glory and or woe. In this case, just woe. But in general, it could be glory, but it's woe tonight. Yeah, like this. You're supposed to you're supposed to pour me one of your finest beers and not ask ridiculous questions like a roadie during sound check. So that's what Axel would sound like. Right?
Nice. Yeah, we're gonna get you and Max in here and just do a read through with all voices.
Yeah, we could do more
Maybe
voices.
you
I
get,
mean,
like one more person if you want.
I feel like with Battle World, so we're actually working on a new Battle World zine. It's a very short, couple-page story that Max is gonna try to squeeze in within the next couple months in between working on Goofy Fruit stuff. So if we do that and get that done, we could do a reading on that one. This one is, really old. It's just for kicks here.
Yeah, we'll do a new one.
But yeah, this story is really fun. I feel like we could maybe revive it in some form or someday, or maybe like I'll figure out get like all these different artists to do different parts of it, and then have Max just do the end. We'll see. We'll do something with it at some point. But yeah, so yeah, Axel's. Cynthia here asked Braff to get him a face bag. Obviously, this is some vomit. This is kind of a gross cartoon. I am over here literally surging with umbrage. And then a little more reflective. I don't need a face bag, do I? Yeah, so Braff's still just trying to figure out what beer to get him. I'll take a mouth one. Now Braff has purpose. He's all happy. I like how Braff's arm position carries into this panel. Yeah, so Mona Star is coming. Braff uses bad pig Latin. He's doing it wrong. He's just adding A on the end. He's not taking off the first consonant. So yeah, he doesn't know how this stuff works. Mona Star is a monster. Can't tell the name Mona Star. I thought that was clever, but I don't know. So yeah, she's coming over. She has big crush on Axel. It's kind of gross. She asked if she could give it a happier ending. I don't know what that's alluding to. But he says, "No, my ending is fine." I don't know if his ending is fine. But yeah, this is old. I don't even remember any of this really. Yeah, so he promises that if he buys her a drink, she'll go to the bar. Make a silly poop joke. So yeah.
I'll be sitting next to your stool.
Yeah, be sitting next to your stool. In her thoughts.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, I like to try to have double meanings in some of these things. Battle World. And it's like, nah, she's getting that sour crap. Yeah, obviously there wasn't a lot of grammatical proofreading in this one. Probably should be a comma right here. This kind of things would annoy me today. Yeah, like this. Yeah, I said, you sure know how to treat a lady, Axel. No wonder you're always getting dubbed. It's like, what? We know. You're focusing on your music. Yes, I am focusing on my music. So yeah, so then Axel's going to this. There's a guy named Juro Mungo Jam Juro, who's a more known musician. They're having like some sort of record executive was going to be there. And yeah, there's been nothing but pitfalls and problematic people who won't let me. And then you got Captain O'Krusty just comes in out of nowhere. So he's a drunken, crusty pirate who also can't pronounce things correctly. So, did you say you're going to the neurofungal ham portal show? No, I did not say. So yeah, Axel's going hardcore. Then Cynthia's like, "Oh, you like NFHP? Like that's real bad?" And Krusty says, "I loved him." So yeah, rare moment of these two connecting. So you got a whole little crew in this little sequence here, and then of course Diva Axel, whatever, and just shut up and listen to me. So yeah, I like how Max made most of these ads himself. Mouth beer, where do you put it? It's charming. So yeah, the sour beer is very expensive. It's $18 a pint, which Axel doesn't have that kind of coin. So now you see him here depressed between these two beer pillars. This is a nice little, would have been a teaser trailer for the rest of the comic, which we never produced. So yeah, that's Battle World. But if you like it, you could read it here on this webpage and follow us online for when we release this zine sometime between now.
He's really big here. Is that
That's just
is
like
that a metaphorical big or like
yeah,
a superpower?
That's a metaphorical big, I'd say. It's artistry.
Yeah.
But it could also be a superpower.
But it wasn't when you were.
It was a superpower in his argument.
Okay.
It was his. Yeah, he does have some diva powers to some degree, but in a very low level. Yeah, there's lots more to learn about Battle World.
Exciting, man.
Yeah, it sounds exciting, right? But yeah, I guess maybe we'll take
keep it going.
All right. I guess we should switch to Goofy Fruit.
Yeah, if you want.
All right, take it. Let's take a
Show us some Goofy Fruit.
We take like a 30-second gear shift.
No, we don't get those here.
All right, well, let me take a water.
We're live.
I'm gonna take a water drink.
We're essentially live right now.
All right, well.
So what are we looking at? The Goofy Fruit website, goofyfruit.com. Fruit spelled with 2 O's.
Yeah, it's Goofy Fruit. I can't stress enough how important it is to spell it correctly. So, yeah, GOOFYFROOT.com, Goofy Fruit. Gotta get better at that. Yeah, so I probably said this on the pod, but we started out in the beginning before we really released too many comics. I'm just quickly scrolling through on the website. We're gonna update this. Yeah, we're gonna update this website a lot soon. But yeah, we would just Max would make these prints, and
these were the original prints you were selling.
These were some of them. Yeah.
As I was getting ready to put this out, and you say that back then all you sold was prints, and in a way you almost sold more prints, and it's like when you have one thing to sell, you sell it, right? Is that what you were sort of saying?
Yeah, it's kind of like your back is up against a wall in that sense. I mean, I'm going all the way to the bottom. But But yeah, on this website, like this was one of the first the way the gangster grapes used to look, which they do look grapey here still. I like the way Max draws them now. It's much more uniform. They're more purple. The grapes are a little bit more oblong. It's kind of like the grapes here are not affected by gravity. A lot of people thought that these guys are either raspberries or blackberries. I was like, come on, when I draw a raspberry, you'll know it's raspberry.
You had to make them purple to make it obviously a grape.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should have been more purple anyway, and I think the overall model's better. But I do like the glass. I like this whole image though.
Yeah.
And like it used to be, we called it Yup Grape, which was cool. So, maybe these characters are like will come back in some weird way if there's like time travel. Who knows? Maybe there's time travel.
And then we got the Boss Banana.
This print was great. It was really iconic. I think just like having this pure image of Boss Banana on this just white background made a really nice print. And I think this print was one of our best sellers for the beginning. When we were just like, oh, people really like this Boss Banana guy. Who says,
funny,
great.
There's no comic at all back then.
There is no comics. They're just characters.
And people are just feeling the characters.
Yeah, people are just feeling the characters. We would have both Gangster Grapes, Boss Banana. This first Chill Pepper, which, it's Chill Pepper's the first print image we did outside the original kind of little art sketches Max made. But, this color palette is very... I don't know, feel very Tex-Mex to me in a sense, where we've kind of migrated Chill Pepper's palettes more towards more dewy.
I think the print I have is blue background, right?
There's the one, the latest generation is Chill Pepper in Space, which we can find if we scroll up. The second one is purple. Yeah. The second puffing. I don't know.
I love that Chill Pepper.
Yeah, but this is the original one, so and the original stickers were yellow, so this is kind of like early days, but still chill. I really like this, similar for the Yup Grape with the other Gangster Grapes. I like the color palettes and the look as well. This is the one that people really thought he was a raspberry.
Yeah, that one.
Because they're very
easily mistakable.
Yeah, these are very round.
Still obviously a grape though. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it could be a raspberry.
Not to the masses. It's also like the way the limbs look. They're a lot more anatomical now, where it's like his arms are up by where I say like his ears are.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly. Yeah, we didn't know the anatomy of a grape back then.
Now you know the anatomy.
Yeah, now we have it down to a science. But yeah, it's still a cool image as a print. If you have any of these, don't feel bad. And then Bouncy Blueberry, original. Yeah, her character is transformed a lot. Originally is very sort of part of bounce culture in New Orleans. Girls go to bounce shows, wear bicycle shorts, a lot of twerking. Before Miley did it again. And Yaka is very popular kind of backbeat sound in bounce tracks. So we have this kind of Yaka print. I really like this one a lot, but it's one of those things. It's really annoying. It didn't sell nearly as well as the others, and that's just led to this trend of when we introduce these female characters, they don't do as well. Which is frustrating because I like all the lady fruits. But you'd see I think we just got to keep making great content for them, and people will realize what it's all about. I love Bounce Blueberry. She's definitely got some fans. Blimey, he's great. He's like Boss Banana's British cousin. I think Max had this. Yeah, I thought this idea was hilarious to create this character. And the first image of him is slipping on a banana peel. Just kind of letting you know how things go for him. It's also kind of starting to bring up the fact that there are, fruits. This is Fruit, fruit, and this is a fruit. And is there a difference? Maybe there really isn't, though. Blind Banana, he's wearing pink. So he's a very eccentric guy, but he's also not afraid to be himself. Blimey. The original Poised Pineapple. I think this just became a commentary of me going through our website and talking about it. This is maybe better though.
We're at 20 minutes. Just you can keep going.
All right, maybe we'll do another 10 and see where we land, and then we'll save the rest.
Sure.
I'll probably get to some comics soon, some of the earlier ones. Yeah, this is the original Poised Pineapple. Limbs way too short. He was originally thought of kind of like a bummy yoga guy. And here he's essentially wearing it looks more like a bathrobe that he's also repurposed for martial arts, rather than him being a ninja warrior. But he still like has a zen to him. You know, he's somehow with his large frame has good balance. This is kind of a calming print. You know, just nice. But yeah, he doesn't even have elbows. How is he gonna knock anyone out? So. Yeah, this was a print called The Grapes of Ren that Max did. That was pretty popular. This is when he kind of did a couple mashups. This was the first time you see the new model of the grapes, but it's obviously covered by a big Kylo mask. But this print actually did well with cons, with some younger fans who, know Star Wars, don't know about Froot. So, hopefully a lot of kids now have little pictures that say traitor on it in their bedrooms. That's funny. Just be reminded that they're traitors.
Do you ever hope that Goofy Fruit helps inspire children to eat more fruit?
Sure. I think I should inspire adults to eat more fruit, and then the kids will be fine. But maybe that's wrong. Fruit is good though. It's delicious.
That's what they tell us.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a conspiracy.
Maybe if we wrap up fruit in like colorful candy wrappers, but it's just fruit, then they'll eat it, and the fruit will probably die because it needs to be exposed to the air. But whatever. I'll let the other corporations figure it out. So here we're at our first comic, which this is for like original color palettes. We're originally one of these really washed out colors. It's like even like the purples are super faded, but this comic barely has any words. I actually didn't write this comic at all. I have no credit on this comic. This is all Max, so if you don't like it, let's take it up with him. But yeah, Gangsta Grapes hanging out, and then Bouncy Bluey walks by, and they say yo, and she just gives them a wink, but they're real happy about that wink. It's really simple. Like, this is like our first comic. We're almost afraid to, we're really just going slow with these characters, but you can see a couple elements of style from the Battle World piece. These kind of textured backgrounds with little Ben-Day dots. Generally limited palettes overall, just kind of doing a wash in the background. Way too faded, though. And then we did this little image for Mardi Gras New Orleans 2016, a long time ago. I like this image a lot, too. This wasn't a big seller print-wise, but the people who did bought it, they were big fans. I like this one. It'd be cool to maybe have this as like a small magnet, maybe, So we do that. So this comic here is called Take the Night Off. This is our second comic overall. First comic with Boss Banana. And this is the first one I wrote. I really like this one. I like just kind of like, definitely think of it, almost like something filmed. Just like open up Boss Banana just working. And he's talking to his assistant Gretchen, who I don't think you'll ever see. I think she maybe just lives in technology. I don't know. Yeah,
That's a fun idea.
we haven't explored that, but I don't think you're ever gonna fully see Gretchen. But yeah, sir, I got the files organized and ready to go for next week. Thanks, Gretchen. Why don't you take the rest of the night off? Oh, thank you, sir. Have a good weekend. He's poured himself some whiskey. Like the Max ran out the sound effects. You can almost hear it. Like glug glug glug. And then just taking a moment to point your finger. And then sometimes I amaze myself. I like this comic. I like the palettes. They're definitely still washed out, but they have kind of this romantic, I had a productive week feel to it, and that you should reward yourself. And I think that's why people like this comic. Kind of promoted that a little bit. Boss Man probably kind of promotes the positivity of getting things done.
Yeah, you talk about on the episode that he's like the opposite of what you expect out of a boss to be.
Yeah,
He's actually a good boss.
So he wants the best for you, which I think it's kind of works out to be funnier because then it exposes your flaws more. I probably said all this on the podcast, so it's probably annoying to people who are.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah, no one listens to it.
You're
Right?
adding.
Oh great.
Yeah, thank you. No one
no.
listens to it anyway.
Well, I'm gonna listen to it because I'm very interested in myself. So yeah, we did this image here became our first banner, which I actually like this image a lot. Still, I remember when Max tried out a lot of different colors, like color palettes as well as effects on the general palette, and what actually ended up going with actually completely happened by mistake, where he inadvertently shifted the line work off the colors, so that kind of created this little edge here.
It was an accident that you ended up liking.
It was an accident we ended up liking. He may have kind of went back over it and made it look like he did it on purpose.
That's
but
the definition of happy accident.
It was the definition of a happy accident where we were experimenting with a lot of stuff. We're like, oh, that's interesting. And then when we did that, we're like, oh, that's really cool. Because I really felt, I know we were working on this in our old studio in New Orleans. And like, we had a lot of nice long sunsets. And it kind of matched that energy of like a hazy afternoon in New Orleans. And yeah, and it kind of just worked out perfectly. It was one of those moments where we were like, oh, this is amazing. Let's take the rest of the day off. Sometimes I amaze myself. Yeah, so this is our banner. We used to have this up. We got a new banner now. This is the second in the Super Fruit collabs. This is called the
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, huge Dragon Ball Z fans. Huge Dragon Ball Z influence on everything that we do in comics and just in our lives. It's funny to say that, but it's true. I was actually watching Dragon Ball today.
Nice.
I actually haven't seen a lot of it, so I'm gonna try to watch it all. Yeah, so this is a good one. People really like this. Max did a couple other Vegeta pineapple drawings. We got a lot of snarky fans being like, "Don't you know that Vegeta means vegetable?" I was like, I don't like people like you. You're not fun. You're probably real cool to hang out with. I like this print because Max made sure to get like a essence of Namek in the background, even though it's very limited colors, like it's kind of orange tones. It's either Namek or like a Dr. Seuss landscape. I'm not sure.
Similar.
It's similar. Yeah, maybe Namek. Dr. Seuss stories take place on Namek.
Yeah.
It's all shared universe, guys.
It's all continuum.
Yeah, that's what really sells.
Space-time continuum.
This comic we sold this as a print. Like all the comics we're looking at, all these things became prints because before we did a whole book, we're like, well, let's just sell it as a print. And I would sell these prints for more than I would sell the book for, which is a weird hack I was able to pull off. It was a glitch in the Matrix that shouldn't have been allowed, but for 2016 into 2017, I took advantage of it. People really like this comic. Yeah, and like it's really simple.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's no
sweet,
words.
Man.
I think it promotes just some
goodwill
among people that you wouldn't expect. Like you wouldn't expect. And this is like before people know who the characters are and know kind of what their relationships are to each other. It's really not. It's really just to like put vibes out there. And the vibe was, you lose your joint, and then someone comes and picks it up and gives it to you.
My dude.
And says, "My dude." Yeah, and then you're back to being chill. Yeah, a lot of people would come to our table and read a bunch of stuff, and then like when they get to this one, they'll read it, and then they'd be like, "My dude," and then start to laugh. And someone would buy it, and I would say that I'll probably only be known in my life for writing "My dude" as a comic. People would be like, "Oh, you're the "My dude" guy," and I'm big, yeah, it's me. This is Shun Strawberry. I love her. She's great. It's like a kind of eccentric and groovy grandma who will maybe beat your ass with her purse. So yeah, it's a nice image. She's cool. More of her. This is the new Gangsta Grapes. So we kind of looked at this before. They look like grapes here. More oval. Some of them kind of feel like they're hanging. Got the arms. Figured that part out.
Did you guys talk about that one grape right here in the middle being like a nose?
No, I don't really actually see it as a nose. I know you can kind of see it that way, but I think it's just this is the grape kind of sticking out.
Just happened.
Yeah, I guess sometimes like the anatomy of grapes, different parts of fruits, like maybe could look at different ways in the anatomy, but no, that stuff's really that important, Don't think about it too hard. But yeah, they got the what. So yeah, this has like the drippy paint feel. It's kind of more graffiti. This is more of the brick. They kind of work together that way. Yeah, switched in from the cap to the do-rag, which became signature of what grape. We got
classic chill.
Yeah, it's the purple chill. This is the second puffing. So I figured it's chill pepper. He smokes a lot of weed, so he's got to have some purple haze.
I have this one framed on my
You
wall.
got this one framed?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you got the comic too. Well, these are rare at this point because they've all been sold and thrown away or whatever. This is the third superfruit. Oh, so this one's good. He called this Bruce Plantain by day, Banana at night, and people would laugh at that. I like that Max got the banana signal. You got the little banana belt buckle and a banana grappling hook. I think this is hilarious. Yeah, people like this one. Very thin and almost sexy legs here. Nice. I don't know what was going on. This was the fourth one, which was the Incredible Pulp, who will pulp smash. We turned this one into a GIF. This is kind of our first GIF project that we did. It was really simple. This is just 2 drawings. We're just kind of enlarging it in the background and having some other little lines here. So, secret behind it. But it does have a nice effect. Yeah, and then we're like,
Nice GIF.
yeah,
Or GIF. I
the
think
GIF.
we're supposed to say.
No, I think we're supposed to say GIF. I think it was one of those times where someone who like, yeah, you invented it, so we should listen to you, but you're actually wrong. So we're gonna take it away from you.
Because he made it up anyway.
Well,
so.
I think someone pointed out. It could probably many people were like, well, if it's GIF, why don't we why? How could it be GIF? We don't pronounce it Jaffix.
Yeah.
So.
We do say giraffe.
No, we don't. Giraffes. What sounds
You say
do?
giraffe?
What sounds do giraffes make?
I think I imagine it to be like a really like
GIF.
They can
say
go
GIF.
between. They say GIF.
They
right?
say GIF, and so will I. So yeah, this is like the Poison Pineapple comic. So we had the first 3 comics out, and that's when we went on this Comic-Con tour to like a bunch of cons around the Southeast where we're living, and then like we only had 3 pages of comics, and we were selling all this stuff. We were idiots. I don't know why we did all that, but
Yeah, I think it's amazing though that you.
We're
go
just
with,
like,
with
we're
less
hyped
and
up.
You might even sell more with less. That's the lesson.
I remember, yeah, one con in Dallas, this girl came up to us and like looked at it. And she's like, "It's like, oh, this is interesting, but I don't see how it fits in with the con."
It's always gonna be a girl who's gonna say that, right?
I mean, I thought like I wasn't that a fan. Like it was a perfectly honest reaction, and I enjoyed it on some level, but I also had to laugh at it a lot.
Did
Yeah,
you laugh in the moment, or did you kind of like
I don't.
smirk in the moment, and laugh?
I think I went into like a deep, like hallucinogenic state for like I blacked out and like went somewhere else till she left.
and then realized that it was funny later.
I knew it was funny the whole time. I probably was cracking up, but yeah.
Are you about to read this?
This one seems long, but this one is like very a little spiritually. I thought this one like I was thinking about warriors. I was thinking about like being an artist and like a creative or a freelancer and how like your life things change a lot. Your life could be different, and then also like what is going on with this character, the pineapple, poised pineapple. Now you're kind of seeing him in a ninja role. This comic, there's a lot going on. We got Poised Pineapple. We also have this character here, which her name is Melita Polsky, which we talk about her sometimes. But
Is she a watermelon?
she is a watermelon from the city of Melitopolsk, where they have watermelons in the Ukraine. So yeah, that's
So she's like a Russian
uh,
watermelon.
part Russian, I guess, if we're going by that, and her father is Japanese, so
Okay.
she's got so she's a watermelon. I
She's
don't
an
know.
intriguing character.
She's a great character, and then these are her henchmen here. I believe they have names now, but I choose not to reveal them.
She might be my favorite character, actually.
She's a wonderful character, and I think we're actually at some point going to try to get her in her zines of our own. Like we want to make zines of different things with different characters. Maybe starting with her. Yeah,
Right
here's
down
a
here.
shot of her
She's got some nice lips.
in
huh?
her street clothes. Yeah, so she works as an art curator by day, and then ninja assassin by night. Yeah, they're like here, like she looks like very weird here. Like we wouldn't draw her like this kind of very a little too cutesy. But I like this shot. I like this whole comic. Like we kind of show this stuff going on at night, and then like you can hear Poised Pineapple yawning as he wakes up in the morning. I like seeing that his whole wardrobe is all the same. And you get a shot of him in levitation.
So what's happening here? They fight by night, and then
So what is happening here, and I don't know if this is pure canon yet, but so Poised Pineapple, so they have double life. They have this kind of fight thing going on here, and then in regular life, I think they met at like an art auction because Poised Pineapple is interested in some artifact he had some reasons for that, and then I think they end up having some sort of meet cute, and she's coming over to maybe redecorate the dojo or give him some advice on how to redecorate things. This is her showing up.
So in this world, do you think like Superman somehow gets away with his disguise of glasses?
Yes.
Does she not recognize the poised pineapple? Or he's wearing the same thing. Does he not recognize?
Whoa! He's wearing a headband here.
True.
Ian.
All right.
He's
So
wearing
the
a
headband is he not recognizable to her in the day?
Yeah, I'd say so, but it's kind of like they both know, but they can't say it.
That's funny.
It's kind of like a Batman,
maybe
Catwoman.
Maybe they do know. Okay, more
kind
Batman,
of thing.
Catwoman rather than Superman, Lois Clark.
Yeah, it's but like in Superman, but Poised Pineapple is kind of Clark Kent-y in a way, where he is very kind of like humble and bashful.
A cleaner hero.
Yeah, I think he tries to be. Like he definitely has a dark side as well, but it's not as prevalent in the present for now. Things could change. I mean, I guess we'll get into this Bromeliad's Keeper. But yeah, so this is Larry, Barry, and Gary here, but they're all kind of wearing the same color here. We actually recolored this panel to show the different geese once we developed them as characters. I thought it was hilarious to show these three little pineapple dudes here. It's the first time you ever see like a kid Froot and Goofy Froot, which I think is funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
Baby fruits.
Yeah, little mini
Everything
Fruits.
when it's a baby is cuter.
Yeah, it's cuter.
We're almost at what are we at? We're almost at 40 minutes here. You wanna?
Let's wrap up.
Yeah.
All right, we'll
Show
do
us
this.
one or two more.
We'll do this last one here. Yeah, this comic is called Just a Bit Off. This was with Blimey Banana. So this one actually got a lot of good response when I posted it online. But yeah, it's about kind of like not fitting in and being a little weird, and maybe things are a little weird in the world. Like, you know, people be like, "Hey man, you're a little bit off." I think he's freaking out because she's sexy or a blueberry.
What's he got? A little growth? Oh, he cut
No,
himself.
he cut his peel shaving. Yeah, a little peel shaving here. He's like, "Dah." So yeah, I like how here he's in a pink bathrobe, and then he's wearing the suit and the hat. But you know, even if you're a little bit weird, like you always have your thing, and when you get get your groove on, and then maybe people cheer you then. And I like to see all the fruits kind of like in this disco club here, which is pretty funny. Yeah, this is like a bunch of the other characters and just fruits in general.
Does the disco club have a name?
Not yet, but we will see. We will see more in this disco kind of club nightlife environment.
Because that's where fruits get down.
Is for fruits get down. So yeah, I guess I'll just scroll up here and just quickly. Like, this is the new banner image here. You got all the characters. You got Gangsta Grapes, Blueberry, Oafish Orange. This is Rad Raspberry.
Very much less washed out now.
Yeah, it's a lot more saturated, a lot more poppy, and dare I say, juicy. Yeah,
Dare say it.
dare say it. So yeah, I like this image a lot. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
this
awesome.
this also kind of looks like an orange slice, the way it's shaped. So good job, Max.
Good job, man.
And then like here, this is the new story that we're working on called Bromeliad's Keeper. And this is, I think I'll just do this first page of it, and then, probably that'll be good.
Yeah, perfect. This is a teaser for the news.
This is a teaser of the teaser. If you want to read the whole teaser, just go to the website, goofyfruit.com. So this story takes place in 1989 with Poised Pineapple. So it's like a story from his younger days in life. And this story will have big ramifications on future stories as we tell them. But this is like a 80s martial arts ninja movie. Actions. It kind of has a little bit of Die Hard in it as well in its DNA. But yeah, so you got Poised Pineapple. He's down in a hospital morgue, and he encounters these two. These are pomegranate ninjas. They work for. There's an evil organization called the Spindle, and that's who he's against. So, probably not saying the right things. But yeah, so he has this beeper, and this beeper's going off. He just met this woman named Connie. She's a strawberry woman that he got this beeper from her. And he tells these pomegranates that he's a janitor and he works here. He's like, yeah, they work here too. They're orderlies. But if you're a janitor, why are you wearing that karate outfit? And where's your mop bucket? Because that's how it works for janitors. So, yeah, that's just the beginning. They have a little altercation, these guys. I guess I'll click on it. Just show real fast.
Taste of the fight.
Yeah, Taste of the Fight. Oh yeah, we have an email list.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect, right? So it's called the Goofy Fruit Inbox Experience. It's just like Goofy Fruit, but in email form. Also, we tell you about upcoming new stuff like comics, shirts, events, and giveaways. Also, sometimes we drop promo codes on the store. So you can sign up, and then the button to click says, "This is the greatest moment of my life." I don't know if I believe that.
You want to create a promo for anybody who listens to this show?
No. But
Fuck my listeners. Is that what you're essentially saying?
I mean, if you already listen to this podcast, then you listen to the podcast and you know it's good.
So go buy it. And
So go buy it, yeah. So yeah, there's action coming up. Yeah, I think this is good for the commentary. We'll do more with Max. They'll be way more interesting in the future.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
I'll make the two of you actually read it. You'll do a read through.
We could do a read for well, this script is huge. This is going to be like a 200-page story. So this is just a very small little nibble of it.
You want to say bye?
Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye, Ian Cinco, podcast fans.